Was a good call. Okay, it doesn't seem to be good. Just got a Steam notification that a friend started playing something. Was wondering if that was on stream, but luckily isn't. If I saw it correctly. If it is, then yeah, my bad. Hi, welcome. You heard nothing of that. Yeah. Hi, I'm HabKeineName, the random German guy that likes Final Fantasy, and I'm here today with Final Fantasy X. And yeah, we're gonna be quick because we're gonna be using the cutscene remover mod to skip all the cutscenes in the game. If we didn't, the run would be 6 hours longer. Which, you know, nobody got time for that these days anymore. Watching 6 hours of unskippable cutscenes and unskippable dialogue is just way too much, honestly. So the Final Fantasy X community were the first one to sit together and create a mod, or rather an external program in this case, to remove all the cutscenes, which makes the game a lot quicker. And yeah, other Final Fantasies followed suit since then, and it's been great. And if you read the Did You Know, then you would have seen that originally I was against it. No one sees that mouse. And yeah, these days I'm loving it. So without further ado, we got a schedule to keep up with. We're gonna start a new game. We're gonna go on the standard sphere grid, because it's better. We're gonna play with original soundtrack, because it's better. And you can see already, the Final Fantasy X speedrunning mod, version 1.7.0, the cutscene remover is enabled, the break is disabled, there is a 5-minute break I could enable in theory with this mod. That is allowed for the speedrun. That would get a 5-minute break after Gold Salam. We're not going to use that today. And yeah, True RNG is enabled, which scrambles up the RNG values of the game, so it's impossible to RNG track, because I don't know how to do that anyway, so that's my preferred category. And with that, I'd say we're gonna start the run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck and fun! Alright, I want you guys to pay attention because this goes fast. Kids, teach us how to blitz. Name, done. Girls, flirting, done. Moving away, done. And off to the stadium we go. And that's how the cutscene remover mod works. As I said, a lot of the fixed dialogue and cutscenes that play throughout the entire run are just gonna be entirely removed thanks to this mod. As I already mentioned, saves us about 6 hours of cutscenes, etc., etc.
Coming through. Hey! Hey!
Unfortunately, also skips the good ones, even though, you know, the Blitzball scene here would have been skippable in the HD remaster here anyways. Yeah, oh no, Sin attacked, and the city is in shambles, and everything is destroyed, and we fell down the building and somehow survived without a scratch. And oh my god, it's Auron, the coolest guy in town, and we're gonna completely ignore him and just run past him. Oh, now welcome to the first few fights! So for those who haven't seen or don't know,
These ones don't.
Final Fantasy X was a truly turn-based Final Fantasy, and there's the first useless crit of the run already, yay! Entirely turn-based, no ATB system or anything. There is the timeline bar that you can affect with status effects like slow and haste, and by increasing your party members' agility and leveling that we will be doing very much over the course of the run. And yay, 2 worthless crits already. I love counting worthless crits because I'm getting way too many of those all the time. So we've already got 2 crits that we really didn't need because we would have killed anyways, and here's the first boss. If you really want to call it a boss, it's more a tutorial than anything, because yeah, this boss literally is incapable of killing us, since he can only cast Demi, which is always dealing a quarter of our health and damage. And Overdrive, this game's version of Limit Break. And another useless crit on one of the Sin spots. I'm loving it. not. So the boss keeps casting Demi, is now gonna fill Titus's overdrive so we can do a spiral cut, which has a little test of your reflexes. And now we're just hoping for crits, because if we don't land any, then this fight is gonna drag out on forever. Come on, give me at least one, please. You already gave me 3 worthless crits, game. Give me at least one worthwhile crit. Yes, there we go. Getting at least one crit kinda important, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to kill him next turn. Would have to sit through 1 extra Demi. Even now there might still be a damage roll. Nope, we good. Okay. So with that, we defeated the first boss 3.5 minutes in. In the normal any percent category, without the cutscene remover mod, this would have taken another 7 minutes to do. We killed that boss in around the 10-minute mark, so we already skipped 7 minutes of cutscenes. Alright, welcome to the tanker fight. This fight is a little bit unique by the fact that there's multiple ways to do this one. We're gonna do it by doing absolutely nothing. Because after a few turns of nothing, our comrades will, our party members will notice, hey, there's that tanker thing that we should attack. Otherwise, we would have to kill a couple of the sin spawn before Orin then notices, yeah, they keep respawning no matter how often we kill them. So, we should find another way and then find this tanker here, and yay, more worthless crits. We're up to 4 out of 5 crits being worthless in this run already. Love it. And we're not even out of the tutorial. We're not even 5 minutes in, we got 5 crits already. 4 of which were worthless.
Hey!
So yeah, if you actually do the attacking thing, then the tanker will actually need 4 attacks to be defeated by actually not killing any of the monsters. Instead, we get into a cycle where, for whatever reason, the tanker only needs 3 hits to kill, which is why we did that specific setup of Titus just switching weapons the entire time, and Orin hitting himself, because we need to do a certain amount of turns before our characters then notice the tanker. And we don't want Orin really involved, and him hitting himself once isn't really a threat, as well as gives Titus afterwards enough turns to trigger the tanker, line up everything nice. All in all, that was a good tanker. The enemies are random as well, as they might attack, they might just sit there and do nothing, and goddammit, I hate this bridge. Literally, there is some way to actually walk straight on this bridge, not angled, but I really don't know what's needed for that. Bridge falls down, Shogans show up, we did not get a preemptive, we did get another worthless crit. We're really on a quota for 1 crit per minute right now, and another one, really! 5 worthless crits out of, 6 worthless crits out of 7 crits total, yay. After killing 2 of the Shogans, our favorite boss here, Gino, shows up, gonna hit us a couple times. Technically, this fight is unlosable as well, since everything he does is normal attack me for half my health. However, after a couple turns, he will... we will run away from him. Curse of Memory, Aeon Sword, menuing done. Technically, we really hope for a preemptive attack on the Shogans, so we can just, kill 2 before they get a turn off to make it faster, and then hope for an ambush on Gino, because he needs to get 3 turns in, so if he ambushes us, he gets that faster, and we need to defend less times. Got some flint, got some withered flowers, we're gonna use that to make some fire. Then complain about being hungry and getting attacked by a monster as the fire just turned out. No breaks, we're speedrunning. Welcome to Click! Very simple fight, we really hope for crits, we really hope for dodges, so we don't have to use potions too much. because using potions is slow. I usually prefer to get 2 dodges or 1 crit in this first phase, so I do not have to heal before the second phase. We unfortunately did not get so lucky, so we're gonna throw a potion for safety. And phase 2, say hello to Riku. Ooh, sorry, I mean question sign, question sign, question sign, question sign. Who can use grenades? Yay, grenades! Boom! And then can also steal some more grenades from the boss. We're gonna try 3 steals, hope to get at least 2 grenades. The first steal is always guaranteed to be successful. The second one is a 50% chance. Since that one was successful, the third one now has a 25% chance. Yeah, that would make sense. And now we're just attacking. Hope that he goes for Tears a little bit more, or that Riku actually gets some dodges in. Not a single crit all fight is also not exactly fun. Okay, that is not great. We'll have to potion here again, or else she might die in the next fight. Not a single crit. 2 grenades, at least. Alright, we're on a boat! We're in the water! Story's moving on so quickly. If you haven't seen the story of this game, I'm so sorry. You really should. It's very amazing, but yeah, not today, not in this speedrun. So, we're going down to these underwater ruins to fiddle around a little bit and see what they can do for these guys. So they might give us some food. Getting 1 encounter on the way most of the time. Unfortunately, we get the bad encounter where it's 1 group of 3 piranhas as the only enemy. I personally prefer the encounter with 2 groups. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And that's why I stopped using grenades on on click. So with that, only 1 steal. We're now at 4 grenades. We need 6 for the next boss. We have another encounter with 2 piranhas in front of us, where we can steal our last 2 grenades. There's always a chance for a rare steal as well, which I don't even remember what the odds were, like 25%, I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not. Rare steal in most cases, either giving us double the items or different items. In this case, for the piranhas, it would be double the items, so we could steal technically 2 grenades in 1 steal. If I get one of them, 1 rare steal, then I'm probably gonna use a grenade here. That's 1 grenade. Yeah, these 3 piranha as a group have 150 health. Not able to kill them in a single attack. Second one, also just a single grenade. Alright, then we're killing those guys normally. And of course we get a Riku crit here. Riku crit that does not matter once again. A Titus crit would have been actually very helpful here to get an overkill, which is a mechanic in the game that if you kill an enemy doing certain amounts of damage related to their health, you're able to get an overkill. If you get an overkill on an enemy, you get double the experience, double the item drops. So it's a very fun mechanic that we will abuse a lot in this run whenever it's possible. Ooh, look. Sushi delivery. Yeah, with that, welcome to our next boss. This is Tro. Tro doesn't like grenades, so obviously we're gonna go throw them at him. We hope to go to under 350 on the first attack. Very nice. If we do over 350 on the first attack, that means he will immediately swim away. Which we kinda don't want, because we want to get some Titus attacks in that crit. Technically useful here right now, since now I technically can skip the second Titus attack, he's guaranteed to die after the 6 grenades. Usually we want to throw 6 grenades at him and then do 2 Titus attacks to make sure he dies. Grenades also have a chance to crit. If they would, that would actually be huge. Especially if it's the final one that would kill him. Like this one right now. If that grenade would have crit, that would have been amazing. To get the aforementioned overkill. But hey, we killed him before he swam around the second time, so that's always good. Good turn order, thanks to the highest crit, etc. Little oversight of the cutscene mover mod. Yeah, we could swim through that thingamajig and had our sword in hand. We will see those kind of unintended side effects of the cutscene mover here and there. Yeah, there at the bottom, we can see the Fahrenheit. The airship that will guide us in the late game. Or help us through in the late game. And with that, we're in Besaid! Yay! Everything's moving so fast. We're 13 minutes in. Once again, remember, if without the cutscene remover mod, we still be in Xanarkand at this point. We only just have killed Amos, maybe the tanker by now, probably the tanker by now. Yes, Walker, I know it's this way. I've played this game before. And with that, welcome to the Lagoon. The Lagoon is a little bit of a special place. Different amounts of piranhas can spawn in the encounters here. We hope to get encounters with either 2 piranhas or a preemptive attack with 3 piranhas to get some more experience. There is a certain threshold that we'd love to see level-wise before we get out of here. That would be Titus on level 2, which he is, and needing another 6 AP for the next level up. He's currently on 12, so that means we would need another 6, which would mean we need to kill another 6 piranhas, which is very unlikely to happen, so we're probably not gonna see the level up to make the next quote-unquote boss fight easier. Another preemptive on this 2 piranha. With another crit. Actually a useful crit in this case, due to the overkill, due to the extra experience. But it's not going to be enough. I hope to not get a third encounter before we're out of here. Also, hey Frame Pulse, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. Yeah, goddammit, got the third encounter. And another 2 piranha, okay. If I get another crit here, I should be actually getting the... Yeah, sad. Imagine getting another useful crit here. Yeah, 1 AP short. There are 2 more enemies that I could be able to crit for a chance at getting the last experience needed. So before the next boss, there are 2 more scripted fights. On one of them, there are 2 monsters that we can, in theory, crit, overkill, and get the last experience point. I'd honestly be very, very happy about it because it's early in the morning and I'd like to not do math. Maybe to already talk away about that, the next boss fight is going to be Kamari, and Kamari has a interesting amount of health right now. To which point we need to deal an average amount of damage with every attack to make sure the 6th attack kills. Either land a critical attack or get 2 dodges. The fight can go basically in a lot of directions depending on what we get. So if we get a crit, then we will be killing him definitely on the 6th hit. After the 6th hit, he would be getting 2 attacks in on us, which would kill us if we don't heal. So we need to get this set average amount of damage in order to kill him on the 6th hit. If we don't get that average amount of damage, then on the 6th move we will heal instead, and then do attack number 6 and 7 after that. If we land a crit, we don't have to worry about that. If we get 2 dodges, we don't have to worry about it, because he will not be able to kill us with the 2 attacks. Yeah, it's a very tactical fight where a lot of things can go a lot of different ways, honestly. And yeah, if we do get the level up, then we get access on the sphere grid to a strength upgrade, which will guarantee us that we will kill him before we need to heal. And then I don't have to worry about math or crits or dodges at all. So if I get that, I'd honestly be very happy right now, because as I said, it's very early morning and I like to not do math this early in the morning. Also, yay! Cloister of Trials. This is basically just a puzzle in each of the temples in Spira, which are visited by the summoners to gain the powers of the Aeons, aka our summons, aka our Pokemon, aka the way we're gonna be handling most of the game's bosses. It's always scripted, it's always the exact same. There technically is a hidden treasure in here with a pretty good weapon for Yuna, but also we don't really care because it gives Yuna stats that we don't really care about. Push the thingy in the hole. Okay. Double done. Summoner is safe, we're leaving! We witness Yuna's very first summon of Mega Ultra Chicken. Sorry, wrong card game. Say hello to Velfor, who is gonna handle most of the early game for us. Stay away from the summoner!
Good.
Honestly, kind of wish we would just throw randomly stay away from the summoner back in as we approach that lady.
Where's that boat?
Alright, and with that, we're off. In older routes, we would go back into the village now to unlock a secret overdrive for Velfor.
Here comes.
Battle tutorials!
Hey, why don't you?
Titus is fast, so he can kill wolves. Unfortunately, without an overkill.
No. Not too shabby. Might make a good.
Walker is accurate, so therefore he can deal with flyers very well. And sadly, no crits. Ah, goddammit. Alright. I will have to deal with Math Kamari at 6 in the morning. Yay. We'll manage. What's the worst that can happen? Just hope for a crit. It's that easy. Just hope for a crit. Anyways, and the flan.
That.
Who is very resistant to physical attacks. So we have to do magic. So say hello to Lulu. I don't like Lulu. I know the goth mummy vibes are there, but honestly, I don't like Lulu. Water Fiend, so we have to use Thunder. Magics can't crit, so unfortunately there was no chance to get that one missing experience point here. Alright, so Kamari, we can deal anywhere between 117 and 132 damage. We need exactly the middle of that as our average. We need every hit to hit at least 125. So that's a -5. That's a +7, +2. +5 after 3 attacks. +10 after 4, we're looking good. Okay, that is +17. We need a +7 on average, so that this attack kills. So we kind of overkilled this one, but that works for me. Very easy math, just most of the hits hitting above the fresh mark of 125. I love it when math is that easy, when you just, you know, continuously go over. Birdie!
A flyer.
True. Why don't we let our sub?
Switch members during battle. So yeah, most of the game, basically you have this kind of like rock, paper, scissors system where every character is good against certain enemy types, which we will be using for the early game at least. And then never care about it again, because after we finish like the second area of the game, we're never gonna kill anything ever again. Aside for scripted fights that we have to kill on bosses. With that, say hello to Mega Ultra Chicken. Mega Ultra Chicken, very strong, very good. Gonna start this fight by spamming Thunders. In theory, could use Sonic Sonic Wave, was it? Sonic Wings. That's the special attack. Here, which has a delay effect, so that the enemy would never get a turn in. Would be bad in our case, because we want to make sure that Valfor's Overdrive gets filled to the brim. In this fight, because we will need Valfor's Overdrive on the next boss fight twice. So we need to enter the fight with full overdrive and then basically make sure that by the hits that Valfor does and the hits that Valfor gets filled a second time, so we can take out the boss in time. Or rather, we want that because we want to use the overdrive on another fight after the next boss. Alright, small menu time. Sphere Grid. Say hello to the Sphere Grid. It might look a little bit intimidating, but honestly it's not that bad once you've learned about it. Get strength increase, get the tier, get Walker out of the party. Very important to get Walker out of the party. By moving Walker out of the party here, we can skip a tutorial on this fight. Where usually Walker be like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then teaches us about skills by using his blind attack to weaken the enemy. With Walker not in the party, we now have the option to escape immediately, and of course someone failed. And that especially after me getting the good timeline. It's a little bit random if Lulu gets to move before the boss or after the boss. If Lulu gets to move before the boss, that is always the best thing that can happen, and we got that, and then Yuna failed to run away, so a little unfortunate there. One last scripted fight, Yuna or Titus. Titus goes first. Their agility is basically very close together right now, so it's kind of random who goes first when both of them are on screen. Aeon's so bad as a kid because how long it takes for Vel to kill a spirit. I mean, also that, honestly, a lot of things about Aeons aren't that well explained in this game. For example, how if you never level up Yuna, her Aeons also don't get stronger. The fact how her Aeons get stronger just from doing fights. For every fight we start, there's a passive counter in the game that makes Aeon stronger, which is primarily used in the no Sphere Grid category, the level 1 category. Grab some money onto the boat. Talk to Yuna, talk to Walker, back to Yuna. Get attacked by Sin! Scroll my notes. So, this fight used to be a lot easier in the older route, in my opinion at least. I kind of really just disliked the new one. Titus defend, Yuna for Lulu, get a little thunder in. Kamari for Yuna, and get Valfor out. So in the older version of the fight, we'd get 2 thunders in to Lancet abilities with Walker in order to weaken him low enough so that the secret overdrive, the I don't remember how it's named, honestly, I haven't seen it in too long, from Valfor will be able to deal enough damage to kill him. That was a very good damage roll, alright, good. Energy Blast, thank you. Energy Ray, Energy Blast. Yeah, Energy Blast is a stronger one, it's a little bit hidden. And then we'd refill Valfor's Overdrive and Kilika on some random mobs. Now the newer strats are to instead use Energy Ray, immediately completely skip Energy Blast to save time on, you know, running around the village a little bit. Saves about a minute-ish. And then we're gonna hit Thunders, and because we had a very good damage roll, we are basically guaranteed to kill him within the next 3 casts before the little guys murder us. You can, in theory, get unlucky with your damage rolls that you low roll with the overdrive, and then Valfor won't be able to kill the Sinfin in time. Which is always annoying when it happens, because then we need to go back to Kilika and summon Valfor and fill her overdrive there. Not this run though. This run everything is fine. And with that, we're moving over to Sin Spawn Achilles, who is another very simple fight. We use the cheer ability that we got for Titus, which increases our attack and defense by a little bit. Gonna use the dark attack from Walker to blind the boss, so he literally is unable to hit us. At least until his blind run out. Gonna use a second cheer to increase our attack a little bit further, and then we're just gonna wail at him. Hoping to land some crits to get better turn orders later on. I need 1 Titus crit or 2 Walker crits in order to be able to kill him 1 turn sooner, 1 attack sooner. Oh my, he actually hit me during blind? What the heck, I've never seen that before, honestly. Here comes the blender. Alright, 2 more attacks from each. That was 1 Walker crit, unfortunately. First a little late, second I need a second one, and that is already too late. Because yeah, if we would have gotten 1 Titus crit or 2 Walker crits, I would have been able to overdrive now to kill him. Unfortunately, if I would have used it now, we would have been a little bit short. So now we have to watch through 1 more attack before we're able to Spiral Cut kill him. I want to finish the fight with a Spiral Cut, especially since we now are in a range where Titus can overkill him. And now we're coming to the first bit of RNG. From this drop, we usually get 1 water related item drop and 1 ice related item drop. And we got an Ice Ball and a Liquid Steel. Alright, not the weapon that I prefer, but we take it, I guess. The weapons that we really want here would be the Ice Ball secondaries. Allows us to skip a chest in the forest just now, saves about 3 seconds. Better would have been the Ice Brand, an ice elemental weapon for Titus, to make farming in Kilika here a little bit easier. Since a lot of the enemies that we're going to be fighting here are going to be weak to ice. There is a chest with an ice attack ball already in this area, as I said. We now will be able to skip that since we got the ice ball. We do not have to look at that. But I honestly still would have preferred an Ice Brand, especially for a marathon run. But it's fine, you can't get them every time, unless you're RNG manipulating, which I'm not, because this is true RNG. You can't RNG manipulate true RNG. It's a little bit of a tutorial. We just got taught how Lancet works on Kimahri. Kimahri's a blue mage. Thanks to using Lancet, we just learned how to use the attack that the monster just used. Works on certain monsters. And we hope we will not see another one of those plants for the entire rest of our playthrough. Right, Titus level 2 means we can get up here to get the Flee ability. And we are on 3 speed spheres, so that means we need another 14 for the rest of the run. Pretty low sphere quest count. Yeah, I usually open this chest, as I said, for the ball for Walker, for the weapon for Walker with Ice Attack. We already got a drop from that, so yay, chest animation saved. Alright, so we want to kill a lot of enemies here for speed spheres, as we need speed spheres to unlock speed-related ability slots on the sphere grid. Bees are guaranteed to drop a speed sphere. If we overkill them, which Walker is capable of, we get 2. The lizards can give a speed sphere, however they can also get a rare drop of a power sphere, which is also useful, but I prefer speed spheres. We just got 2, which means I still need another 12 for the rest of the run. We want to get like most of our speed spheres here in the zone. Boop. Hoping to get Thunder Elemental weapons as we kill Thunder Elementals here as well. Preferably a Thunder Ball or a Lightning Steel, a weapon for either Walker or Titus. If we can get both, then I'm going to be a very, very happy person. Walker for Yuna. Titus first! Yuna first. Yuna for Walker. Walker defend. Titus defend. The bad start, unfortunately. As I said, Titus and Yuna have roughly the same agility at this point, so it is random who of them goes first if they're both in. Really would have preferred if Titus would have gotten first, since we only need the experience from this boss for Titus and Yuna. But now Walker gets a little bit of extra experience, which is nice, I guess. And yeah, this fight, very simple. Boss weak to fire, the tentacles that we just destroyed behind us absorb magic though, so we use an overdrive to kill the tentacles and get the boss out of his shell. And then we're just gonna spam fire until overdrive is full again, and use it once more, and then Valfor has done her job for this run. Yeah, no encounter armor is banned in True RNG. As I said, True RNG, the thing with that is the community figured out exactly how RNG works in this game, how it progresses, how we can manipulate it. However, then we made the True RNG mod on top of things, which now basically scrambles everything around, so it's impossible to track the RNG for us. Due to it being impossible, the no encounter armor, in theory, is still obtainable. However, it is a case of, oh yeah, you do the entire run and then gamble everything on one encounter. Weapon drop, please. Weapon drop, please. Weapon drop, please. Armor drop. Why am I getting unlucky these days? And while people have done this even in any percent before RNG manipulation was a thing, yeah, it is banned in True RNG because True RNG was basically made for the people that don't want to continuously reset over RNG tracking, since, you know, RNG tracking is a thing, and people complained that they didn't want to be in the same category as the RNG trackers, since it's unfair if they get the perfect drop basically every run, and then comparing to the people who don't. Yeah, Sonic Seal plus Flea is the go-to. It's just especially the encounter rate in Mount Gagazet and Xenokind is so high that the no encounter armor, at least in not cutscene removers, says, what was it, 7 minutes from the moment you get the armor. So if you take less than 7 minutes to get it, then you save time. I'm not sure what the time values are for cutscene remover, because once again, I never really paid attention to that, because I'm not into the whole RNG manipulation. I don't have the attention span for keeping track of everything and keep getting it up. I'm already having trouble with the few things that I need to track in Final Fantasy VIII. And that game basically has nothing to track if you use second try Zell, first early Quistis. Then you really don't have to track, like, barely anything. And even there, I'm still struggling most times. More trials. Doing a little bit of a custom route for this trial here, where I take the glyph out of the pedestal and reset the pedestal to up here. I think I'm still the only person who does it. It feels faster. Why are you pushing it when I move down? That is the downside, because otherwise we would have had to take the fire crystal that we just got out of the wall all the way back to this room, then grab the glyph sphere, bring it here, and now move all the way back into that room to get one of the Kilika spheres, the fire ones back that we need to open the final door. Now it's just right here. Saves us travel time. Still haven't timed it if it's actually faster, especially when the game decides to try and push him, even though I'm literally running away from it. Yay, trial solved. Getting scolded for being here, even though we didn't want to. Then again, the cutscene remover literally made us say hello to Ifrit and say goodbye to him. You will not see him again until the final boss. Ifrit in Final Fantasy X currently is basically just a backup character that no one really cares about, because we never really need the backup. Alright, where was I, actually? I think I was at 9.
Now what?
Was it needing another 9 speed spheres? We hope to get most of them. There are other places to get speed spheres. But also we just want to get kills in general. To get levels for Titus. In order to potentially unlock haste earlier, or even a lot earlier. We already have the minimum kills covered. And also, this is why I would have preferred the Ice Brand weapon. Oh, come on, low roll Walker, really? Since with the Ice Brand weapon, Tidus would have been able to guaranteed overkill the lizards with every attack. 6 more speed spheres.
I'll be right back.
I prefer to get another 2 before we're out of here. 4 is a good amount of number of speed spheres left. As there are 2 separate encounters that I can take later on that give me 4 speed spheres. Unfortunately, the game does not give me another encounter that I need. Sad. So we will be ending on 6, so I will have to do a little bit of grinding later for the remaining speed spheres. Had a good amount of kills, sadly not good enough to get level 5 on Titus already, but we should be able to get level 5 before the annoying encounter where it saves the most. And oh boy, time for more minigames, and in fact for the hardest minigame in the entire game. Because whoever thought of this minigame is honestly a masochist, because this minigame is absolutely impossible. Welcome to the Jackshot minigame. Idea is simple. There will be buttons that show up on the screen, and those take forever to take away.
You can't. No one else can do it. You can't do it.
So now I need to press down an X in order to get rid of that, and then down left an X, and then up an X. And I need to get rid of a certain amount of it. And I'm pretty sure that was... God damn it. Absolutely impossible. You need like 11 of those, if I remember correctly. It was like just impossible. Who has the reflexes to press all these buttons in time? For legal reasons, this is a joke. First of all, we don't really care for the jackshot in the speedrun. Second of all, in cutscene remover, especially, the game would crash if we win the minigame. Since it's not intended for cutscene remover to get an unfair advantage against any percent. Cutscene remover was made mainly as a practice tool for any percent, so the gameplay should not be obstructed too much. They should not have 2 different strats. So allowing for us to win Blitzball would be to win the jackshot would give us set unfair advantage against any percent. So yeah, if you actually manage to win the minigame, that actually just crashes our game. Alright, why did I say earlier at the last boss that I'm sad that I didn't get a weapon drop? Well, a weapon drop from the boss sells usually for around 700 gil. The armor drop usually for around 300 gil. And yeah, we need to sell equipment here in order to afford a new weapon. So let's see if we actually have what it takes. And we're not even close. Like 500 gil short, yay. How much was this one? Was it 450 or was it 600? It was 600, okay, good. I mean, it absolutely could use Jackshot. Jackshot would make Blitzball easier in the end. Alright, welcome to the Machinas. They are a little bit annoying. I hope they don't attack Lulu too often because Lulu is quite frail. Lulu is able to kill them in one attack with her thunders. We once again have enemies that have a high likelihood of dropping thunder elemental weapons, so we're gonna look out for the drops again, hoping to see preferably a lightning steel for Titus or a thunderball for Walker. If we can get either of those, I'm gonna be very happy. If we can get both of those, I'm gonna be very happy. Let's hope we hit level 5 of Titus on this fight. I didn't check how much I was missing. They really don't like Lulu today. Can you not? Okay, we did not level up Titus. That is very sad. Means we did not get enough kills to get haste for this fight. If we would have been able to hit level 5 on Titus, we would have been able to get haste on this fight. And haste on this fight is incredibly strong. Because if we can haste Lulu, he's just gonna be so damn quick. Gonna make this so much easier. Unfortunately, now I have to do alternative strats that require me to get lucky. Crit? No. Okay. Then it is Seed Cannon. Bonk. More thunder. More thunder. And then once again hoping we might get to see a critical here. If I see one crit from Titus or Kamari, that would be great. Thunder on a non-weakened one. Come on, boys. One crit. One crit. All I'm asking for. Yay! Means he'll die one attack earlier. Alright, level 5 for Titus. Yay! Nope. Some extra strength, some extra MP, and the ability Haste, which is going to be very, very critical for basically the entirety of the run. A little safety here, touch the crystal, fill our health. Technically not needed, we were still good on health, but whatever. See, as you will be able to see now with Haste, the turn order goes absolutely haywire for Lulu, getting a bajillion turns in now. Which is good, because we need a bajillion turns. Welcome to Obliterator. Obliterator has a lightning weakness, and also has a in-battle interactable object, which is the crane here. We can charge the crane by casting Thunder on it 3 times to power it up. Once it's powered up, Titus can use it to rip out the gears out of the boss, which deals like 95% of his health and damage. The animation is a bit slow, but this is still by far the fastest way to deal with this fight. This boss also has a guarantee that we will get one equipment piece, has a high likelihood of getting us a lightning elemental if we drop a weapon. So once again, we're really hoping for a lightning steel for Titus or a thunderball for Walker. We will be finishing the attack off with a Titus attack. The person that does the finishing attack has a higher chance of getting equipment for them. And hey, we actually got a lightning steel. Let's go. That will make a boss in the future a lot nicer, since we'll now be able to deal 50% more damage. Alrighty then. Did anyone say Blitzball? Warning, if you do not actually know how broken Blitzball is in Final Fantasy X, please look away, because it will probably ruin your fun of the game. If you are an innocent soul that doesn't already know it. And Blitz off, and of course we get a graph. My streak is ruined! Honestly, I was expecting to see a lot of graphs though today. I think across my last couple runs I've had like 7 graphs, 7 leddies in a row across my last couple of runs. So why the heck do you pass to Dorum? That is a very weird move. That I'm very much not happy about. Why do you pass to a defender? Thanks for the ball, and I'm standing immediately in Avis and then Bixen. Manual normal. Alright, let's see. Yep, we're having enough pass at least to get over him. That was a very, very weird position to be in. Also, that was a wrong pass, but whatever. Because I don't need the ball on Yasu, I need the ball on Titus. Our only goal in the first half of the game is to do one action with Titus in order for him to get a level up. No break past Yasu. Pass is an ability, so now we get 1 experience for Titus. With that 1 experience, Titus will level up during the halftime to level 3. At level 3, he will gain his first ability slot, which will be filled with Sphere Shot, which we'll be using in the second half to score, hopefully. And now we're just standing behind our goal to confuse the opponents, because they literally do not know what to do when the ball is located behind the goal, and we're literally just sitting here and waiting. Waiting for the timer to run out, because we don't really want to do anything here. Actually playing Blitzball takes time, as the timer stops whenever there is an encounter, an action, we're engaging with someone, you know. So we really don't do that. In an alternative, I also could swim circles around the entire arena using Yasu. Yasu has a slightly higher speed currently than anyone else in the team. So if you don't take the corners too sharply, you're actually able to just out-swim the opponents the entire time. It's very funny to look at, but also easy to mess up if you're not fully focused. So the behind-the-goal strat is just a lot nicer. Stay hydrated, peeps. Oh yeah, the actual minigame is a lot easier. Once you get a couple abilities, maybe a couple new players. The Besaid Auras are some of the most weak characters in the entire game, especially Keeper here, who is literally the worst goalie in the entire game. Funny enough, he is the best shooter in the entire game. He's the only player in the entire game that actually reaches a shooting stat of 99 in the entire game. Which is kind of funny that your default starting goalkeeper is the best shooter in the game. Alrighty then, laddie. Of course it's graph. Why wouldn't it be graph? Mark mode, right side. Alright, you leveled up. Don't do it, graph. Don't do it. Thank you. And perfectly going to Yasu, who is exactly the person that I wanted on. Alright, cool. Formation normal, and now we wait. Down here at the very bottom, very similar to behind the goal, is a scene where the enemy players don't really know what to do with me. There's a couple formations that they could switch into now, where they could become dangerous. We hope they don't do that. And we're gonna sit here and wait until the timer hits 2 minutes 20 before we're going to attack, as we're gonna be trying to pull off a strategy called as Blitz Off Skip. So at the 3-minute mark on the timer, a cutscene will trigger that will replace Titus with Walker on the field. And if we hit the goal at the exact timing, or around the exact timing at the 3-minute mark hits, the cutscene triggers is exactly as we score, which is very, very nice, because then we won't have to see another blitz off. Oh god, why this formation now? That means Graph is right in front of the goal, isn't it? Wait, that should... Is that still Dorm? Is that Graph? That is... Oops, let's see how that goes. No, that is Dorm, okay. 48. I think I'm a little too early, but let's see. 49 and 1 defender is usually what we want to see. Only a 14. That is terrible. Gets a hand on it. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, we low rolled the sphere shot, Satch. Gonna have to do that again. Letty. Of course we get a triple graph. As I said, I got like 7 Lettys in a row the last bit, so kind of makes sense. And my luck is running out. Yeah, the sphere shot low rolling there is very, very unfortunate. So now we need to shoot a goal. Avis, I like Avis. Avis is always better than Bigson. Avis we usually can handle with Bigson. Often enough we can't. No break shoot, should be fine. Thank you, Letty. I pass to Yasu. Formation normal. And let's try that exact same thing one more time. Another extremely terrible formation. Why, game? Why do you hate me so much right now? At this point, honestly, I'm considering if overtime isn't a better option. I have to at this point. It is getting too late. I have to deal with the RNG of Bulgarda and hope that Graph doesn't get close enough. Bulgarda, also known as Crit Gerda, as you can see, has a lot less attack than my Endurance. Usually loves to crit those attacks though and take the ball anyways. Whenever you actually have to actively engage with Bulgarda, that is very, very scary. But that's a blitz win. And I didn't even have to reset my game over the goers getting a goal in. So as was already said in chat, for winning the game, we just been rewarded with a strength sphere, which gives a which will turn an empty node on the sphere grid into a +4 strength. And +4 strength will make a huge difference, especially since we'll be able to use that plus strength twice. And Really? Really, Titus? God, I hate stunning steel. Hey, we get a crit as an exchange though. Alright, so, strat here, very simple. Walker will always need 2 hits or crits to kill. Titus will, most of the time, only need 1 attack in order to kill. Can low roll now that we, for the newer route, switch to the stunning steel, which I'm honestly still not sure why we immediately equip it. We really should be equipping it later. Since we're now missing a 5% attack buff from the Brotherhood, which means there is a range where we are able to low roll the enemies, not kill them in a single attack. Every crit is incredibly important or incredibly powerful in this fight, since these monsters all drop power spheres, which we need to activate strength, HP, and defense nodes on the sphere grid. And we need a very, very much of them in general, and we are not guaranteed to get all of them by default by just beating our enemies. So every crit is 1 extra for us, and every extra is very, very nice. I want to keep a little lookout on these enemies, on who we're attacking here, since we're sometimes able to skip some attacks by just, you know, killing the enemy before they actually get a turn in. That was actually Titus and not Walker. D is attacking next, we're killing D, then we're defending with you, and then we're attacking the next one. Alright, those were, what, 2 crits? 2 crits, not great. Would have preferred a couple more. Next up we see Oren again! Who's just going to be a badass and actually crit this guy. I'm not RNG manipulating, I promise. Yeah, that crit means another +1 power sphere for the overkill, which is very, very nice to have. And welcome to the Garuda, which we're gonna mainly kill with Oren, since Oren has the highest damage out of everyone in the party, and the Garuda has counterattacks. So once we actually get a couple hits in on the Garuda, he will start countering every time he's getting attacked, which is why we want to generally try and avoid hitting him too much with anyone that isn't Oren. We're going to use 1 Titus attack whenever Titus gets his next turn, and then it's just going to be all Oren the entire rest of the fight. Want to try to keep Titus alive here, since getting the experience for all the fights would definitely be nice. There we are now in counter range. We don't really care about Walker here, but we also kind of prefer it if Walker actually gets... Ooh, nice overkill. Nice overkill. Thunderball, Thunderball, Thunderball. Frostblade. Wrong element, wrong character. It's fine. I can live with this. So we are now done basically with any enemy in the game, up to the point where we need the thunder weapons that can drop some. So we have the lightning steel for Titus, which is very, very nice. We sadly did not get a thunderball for Walker, which is not so nice, but also, as I said, not really needed. Generally, the thunderball has more value these days than the lightning steel. Why did I touch that? I came from Blitz. I came from after Blitzball, not from Obliterator here. Alright, so got my chests, check. Got my Blitzwin, check. I'm 2 minutes behind PB, check. Kind of was hoping to get a run going that potentially has a chance here, but yeah. Some bad things happened. Ha 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 ha! You probably shouldn't laugh anymore. Ha 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 ha! Anyways. Oren tutorial!
Huh.
It's
It's also tough.
What?
Yep. there are enemies with armor, and I actually let it slow on him. Funny. And only Oren and Kamari can deal with armored enemies, since they have a effect on like 99% of their weapons that is called piercing. That makes it so they can actually deal normal damage to these heavily armored enemies. More elements to our rock, paper, scissors system at this point, and at this point also we really don't care about anything anymore. We gotten all our kills, we gotten all our levels. We will, as I said, get a few more kills later on for some more sphere drops. We might go out of our way and kill a couple more monsters for certain spheres that we need, as I said, once again, to unlock the stat ups on the board. The only thing we now care about is overdrive. There are a couple enemies in this area that have a chance to go before Titus can run away, even without getting an ambush in the encounter. We kinda do want that to happen a few times to fill everyone's overdrive, the most important right now being Walker, who needs it the soonest and is like very, very, very bad if he doesn't have it, or can be very, very bad if he doesn't get it. Walker's overdrive technically is only used for a backup strat, but that backup is RNG dependent, so not having it is never a nice thing.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
Also getting kind of surprised here with the overall encounter rate right now here on me and Higher Road. Pretty sure I'm under average in encounters so far. Getting a lot of walking way without actually getting encounters, which is very nice. And Mitten, say welcome.
I'll be right back.
Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. In older routes of the run, we really would want to see a bomb here. Bomb being another enemy where Kamari can learn a Blue Mage ability for his overdrive, which we'd be using on the next boss. However, that is the whole reason why we have a new route. A little while ago, which is a funny way to say a couple years ago by now, we found a way to basically skip the entirety of the next area, which was absolutely huge. Healing again for 2 HP, SMH. Because yeah, the next boss was a massive spike up in difficulty, and then the next couple bosses after that were a massive spike down in difficulty again. So basically, in the older route where we couldn't skip that area, we had to do a grinding session in there to make sure we had enough power to actually deal with the boss. And then there was some RNG elements of making the boss faster or slower, and then there was chances of the boss filling Valfor's overdrive or not filling Valfor's overdrive, depending on the attacks the boss used. And it was a whole thing, and it was really, really annoying. But yeah, as I said, we now have the capabilities of just skipping that entire ordeal. And funny enough, just yeah, everything just works out. Everything just kind of works out, because the XP route just kind of works anyway. We're getting exactly where we want to be even without the grinding and without the boss experience. We are missing a fairly crucial drop from the boss, but 2 areas from now there will be a treasure chest with the exact same item, so that won't be a problem. Yeah, everything just works out. Also, was that really a gold split, me and the High Road there? SMH. Alright, welcome to Chocobo Eater. Chocobo Eater is a fairly peculiar boss because there's like 4 or 5 ways this fight can go. We can kill him, we can actually deal certain amounts of damage to push him off the ledge, or we can just, you know, stand here and hope that he, you know, doesn't hit us too many times and just does exactly that to finish the fight early. Which for speedrunners is very, very nice, because, you know, him pushing us off is very, very quick. Especially if we cast haste on him. healing up once more and moving on. Okay, welcome to the old road. This area is very, very dangerous because of this encounter. Because of this encounter especially. If this encounter gets us as an ambush, there is a very, very high chance of them just absolutely murdering us. Which wouldn't be a huge problem. There is autosave in the game, but obviously dying, getting sent back to the main menu, having to load the autosave, and then having to traverse through the area again if you're getting killed like right before the area transition, before your next autosave, is very, very annoying. So we hope we're not gonna see that today. We hope that was the last time in general that we've seen this encounter today for best case scenario. There's an ambush. It's not a dangerous one though. Though generally any ambush with the Drake in it can be dangerous. Since the Drake has a Fire Breath AoE move that can deal very high damage, that even with less threatening monsters than the Dual Horn can lead to them murdering us. On Orin, please. On Orin, please. He's the only one that still needs overdrive, please. None of these enemies know who Orin is, which, I mean, is fair, I guess. They don't know anyone of the... They don't know our names. Should have said the red guy, probably. Alrighty then, and with that, we're coming up to Mushroom Rock Road Skip. Which hopefully will go well.
Hey, thank you for your...
So technically speaking, this would be a two-part skip. First, we'd be performing Classico Skip, then Mushroom Rock Road Skip. However, thanks to this being cutscene remover, Classico Skip is not becoming relevant. All we have to do is move once over to the next area, and Classico there will disappear. Of course you go for Titus. Could you not? Alright, guys, please get out, thank you. As long as one person escapes, the other two can die. Decent fill and Orin there. Way too many ambushes today, honestly. From not really getting any ambushes to now getting way too many. So yeah, we're going over to the next area once real quick. To basically advance the game scene, and then we're gonna go back to perform Mushroom Rock Road Skip. So now Classico is gone, he will no longer tell us here, oh hey, no, you need to go the other way. And we're now having the capabilities. So we are now standing in front of multiple boxes of invisible walls. Which is very annoying because, you know, invisible walls are never funny, we can't really go through them, etc, etc. However, the physics engine in this game do be kind of wonky, so as you now are able to see, this NPC is now slowly pushing us backwards into the invisible wall, and through the invisible wall into the invisible boxes. Which is very nice. We are now halfway through the invisible boxes. We now have to wait for him to come back again and then push us another time. I've heard technically that a 1 push is possible, but improbable. 2 push is the most likely. 3 push, if you are getting bad RNG, is another one that can happen a lot. If I'm getting through in less than 4 pushes, I'm honestly going to be happy today. And then we're just going to have to hope that we don't get murdered on the way to the next zone transitions, because we're still in an area where the double dual horn and Drake encounter can show. And if, once again, if they ambush us, there is a very high likelihood of us game overing, forcing us to do the entire skip again, which is another whole ordeal that we hope we don't have to deal with. Mess it up. Yeah, not through. Alright. That should be fine, though. We're Or is it going to be fine? Is that the soft? No, that's not the soft lock box. That should be the soft lock box. That is a very weird position, though, that I haven't been in a while. Usually trying to align, if you can, I'm not sure how well it's visible on stream, trying to align the dark patch in the middle of Titus's hair with a dark patch right behind him. There he comes again. We just need a teensy-tiny push. And we're out! Free push, mushroom rock road skin. I'm always happy when it happens. Luckily, that's not an ambush. Don't go for Titus, please. Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Hey, everyone's full overdrive. One thing less to worry about. We do have time for everything. Titus overdrive we won't need until... Don't go for Titus, please. Please get out. Please get out. Okay. We don't need Titus's overdrive until Wendigo, which is like way out. We don't need Orin's overdrive until the Beaconell Desert, which is also very much way out. Walker's overdrive is the only one that's really, really important to get filled around here.
Don't break any bones, old man. I won't go so easy on you next time.
Alright, the only split that I have to do manually.
Live and let live.
And we're through. Let's go. Lost 44 seconds over this. Yeah, no, we don't. We only use the bomb for Sinspon Gui, which we now completely skipped. We now have completely skipped the entire Operation Mian, and we'll now just immediately go to Jose Temple. We will, however, need the Stone Breath skill of a Basilisk, so we hope to get a Basilisk as we are going down this road. Yeah, more ambushes. Good dodges though, Titus. Everyone already is full overdrive, so I don't really want to see more ambushes or more enemies that can attack before Titus can flee. Abilities, Yuna, Cures. Oh, Mr. Basilisk, or Mrs. Basilisk, we don't judge here. Just want to suck you dry of your precious, precious stone breath. That sounds wrong. Jose skip, Jose skip, Jose skip. Funny enough, even if I were able to miraculously get Jose skip, it wouldn't let me actually perform it in Cutscene Remover. So, for explanation, there's this very infamous skip here known as Jose skip that is basically impossible to do, to get pushed by this chocobo into the cutscene trigger and then talk to the monk that's a little bit further down the road. Thanks to the janky physics engine, as I said, this is nearly impossible to do. You talk to this monk and then get pushed into the cutscene trigger here. And we have still not seen a Basilisk, so I have to run around in circles getting more encounters. That is very unlucky. Since we're playing Cutscene Remover, however, if I even were miraculous to get it, the moment we hit the cutscene trigger, we immediately get teleported into the next area. Finally, there we go. Lance of the Stone Breath. Switch to Titus. Walker is full overdrive, so I do not have to go out of my way to get him back into the party. However, yeah, the physics engine on that one is so janky that Jose skip has only ever been achieved with a TAS. and even the task couldn't replicate it consistently. It's like the one big mystery of Final Fantasy X, I'd say, at this point, honestly. If we ever crack how to do Jose skip, that'd be huge. That would allow us to skip this entire temple, the entire trial here, and just immediately go into the next area. We'd still be awarded with the Esper, the Bestia, the Aeon, the Summon, the Icon, the Eidolon. They have way too many names for those in the Final Fantasy series, honestly. And yeah, game would just basically progress as normally since we don't really need anything here. The only thing we kind of want from this area is a single chest with money in it, but we also don't really need it because there's a chest a little bit down the line that's only like a 5-second detour that has even more money in it. That I personally still prefer to grab over the chest here for safety reasons, to allow me to buy a couple extra items. And yeah, Jose Temple. Jose Temple is a little bit unique. Jose Temple, the glyph sphere is up there in the corner, and since Titus is unable to do this real quick to grab it, since, you know, he absolutely could just do this and grab the glyph sphere, sadly he can't, so we have to do this here to charge one of the Jose spheres with the power of the glyph. And now that we have this glyph-infused Jose sphere, we can put it into this hole to open the door. All this could have been avoided by Titus literally just stretching his arm out a little bit. But, yeah, since Toxin, he probably forgot how to do that or something. I don't know. Put both the spheres in the pedestal, push it down here. Electromagnetism! Yay! Now we can jump on the pedestal to jump over the gap. Please don't try this at home. You will most likely get electrocuted and die, which we would not like to happen. With that, the hard part of the dungeon, of the trial has been done. Now we just need to light up all the symbols here. 2 are already done. This is the 3rd one. There are 2 more, for which I need to put spheres in the 2 sockets at the very start. Luckily, we do have 2 spheres left over. It's almost like the devs intended for us to do this, or expected us to do this. Grab the second one, put it in up front here. And then that'll unlock an elevator to get us to the 2nd floor. It also gives us this weird flashy symbol there on the left, which we could touch to get a destruction sphere, which gets us to the secret treasure. However, we don't really care about the secret treasure. What is that even here? Was it an MP sphere, I think, with 2 MP spheres? Which we don't really care. 2nd layer is just to push these pedestals in. One of those will open the door, the other 4 will spawn enemies. Wait, no, that's how this works in 10 too. In Final Fantasy X, we literally just have to push all 5 of them in. No RNG involved. It's always a fun one when you run Final Fantasy X-2 and then just get screwed here by getting last pedestals. Since it is completely random on every run in Final Fantasy X-2, which of the 5 opens the door. And yeah, with that we finished Jose Temple and unlocked Ixion, which we're actually going to see. Ixion plays a very important role in the run. Even though it's going to be a very short role, it is a very important role nonetheless. And with that, we're moving on to the Moonflow. Yay! Yeah, to the left of here, in the corner that you can see on the map, would have been the chest that I mentioned that we kind of want with 4,000 gil. I prefer to take another chest a little bit later that has 6,000 gil in it. I said it's only a very minor detour. And with that, welcome to the Moonflow, where we hope we don't get annoyed too much by the enemies.
Fight, fight, fight.
And the most annoying ones in this are the wolves. They have a chance to inflict sleep on the attacks, so we really hope they don't hit Titus too often and actually land asleep. The bees will go faster than us, always getting a turn in, which we're not going to be too happy about when it happens too often. Especially considering since there is a wolf or a bee in almost every encounter in this area. I think there's like 2 encounters that we can have that have neither a wolf or a bee. And at this point, as I said, we are so under-leveled, under what we're supposed to be, that they are basically guaranteed to outspeed us. There's still a small chance for us to actually go before a wolf or a bee. Actually, I think there's a small chance to go before a wolf, but not before a bee.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
Alright, then. Very important, do not kill my own run again. Since we skipped Operation Mihan, and with that, Since Bon Gui usually would... there's sleep, see? Since Bon Gui usually would drop a... would drop level 1 key spheres. We have a chest here that has some in it as well. If we miss that chest, the run is basically over. I've done that before. It's not a nice way to end the run.
I'll be right back.
By just going later, by just, you know, continuing for another, I think, like half an hour and then just being like, oh yeah, I forgot the chest. Well, nothing I can do about it now anymore.
I won't go so easy on you next time. Live and let live.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we get through without another encounter? No, no we can't. Now we should be able to do it. Right, Moonflow. What do we look out for? We, first of all, gonna grab the money chest, gonna touch the safe here as well to heal up. We have to enter this area anyways to progress the story, or 5,000 isn't, yeah, that's 1,000 more. Still a decent amount of money. Alright, Walker actually has enough levels for once. I am impressed. Get over there. Actually get the extra strength, which is going to make the fight a little bit faster. Equip him with the official ball, since the boss we're about to fight is resistant to ice. So I really don't want to have an ice elemental weapon on it. Right, you buff. And welcome to Extractor! I hate this fight in the new reroute. Even with a lightning steel now, this fight is just terrible. So, we are relying on this fight on one thing and one thing only. Titus landing slow on the enemy. Earlier in Luca, we've bought this weapon here, the Stunning Steel, which has slow attack. Which means it has a low chance that when attacking to afflict the slow status. And we really need the slow status on this boss now. The other thing with that is sometimes kind of hard to realize if the boss is actually slowed or not, since our only indication is if he moves slower, if his movements slow down, which is sometimes hard to gauge. Low roll, please. Thank you. Hey, we actually got it early. Nice. That means we're hasting Walker. We're gonna cheer once. Actually getting the early slow. I can't believe it. And then we're gonna change into the lightning steel because he is weak to lightning. And then it's just attack until he dies. That's how easy this fight can be. Is it usually that easy? Well, if he isn't slowed by the time he does this move, we are most likely going to die. Unless we use Walker's Overdrive, which is why it's very important to have Walker's Overdrive for this fight. Now we don't need it, luckily, since we actually got lucky enough to actually get a early slow for once. And now I just hope that we kill him before he kills Walker. So hopefully he attacks Titus this time instead of Walker. So I do not have to heal. Thank you. Because I'm not sure if we will be able we'll see one more attack from him or not. We shouldn't be, honestly. So as you can see, since he is slow and we are hasted, you can see on the timeline on the right, we get a lot of attacks in. For every attack he gets. Also a guaranteed Mega Phoenix drop, which is very important for later. And with that, we've had the Time of the Aeons. This one was a scripted fight that we only can do with Titus and Walker. Since it's only done with Titus and Walker, it is dumped down a little bit and made a lot easier. And now we're going back into the hard fights. However, Riku joined the party now again. Yay, Riku! And for those who don't know, Riku is like the strongest character in the entire game. Alright, Power Sphere check. I need 34. Do I have 34? I probably don't. I probably didn't get enough. I actually have 35. I can't believe it. I actually have enough Power Spheres for the rest of the game. That is rare. Alright, cool. Titus finally gets some more speed and health and attack. Excuse me, did I just see that correctly? Why do I only have 5 speed spheres? Excuse me. Why am I so low on speed spheres? Excuse me, I haven't used that many yet. Something went wrong in my calculation there. That's not supposed to happen. I know I got more speed spheres than that. I'm a little concerned right now.
I'll be right back.
So with the speed upgrade we just gave to Titus, he is now capable of actually outspeeding the enemies. Unless we get ambushed.
Live and let live.
Also, I did the wrong one. I need one orange here, and I'm gonna put you down to the bottom. Come on, free encounter and the second ambush. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Getting free encounters here is so rare.
Live and let live.
Especially since we're like a step off from the zone where encounters become impossible. That was annoying. That was really, really annoying. Welcome to Guado Salam. In any percent, we spent like half an hour here because there's so much story exposition. In cutscene remover, we spent like 2 minutes here, maximum.
I get the feeling he called.
Whoops. Forgot the cutscene trigger. And I haven't done that one in a while. That I forgot to hit this cutscene trigger beforehand. Now we're going to the far plane. We're gonna find a very important item for the rest of the run. The lightning marbles. 8 of them. Lightning marbles are items that cast the Fandara spell when thrown, which can only be used with the use command from Riku and deal round about 1,000 health. Can be slightly under 1,000, can be slightly above 1,000. Plus elemental weakness. Just really wondering about my speed sphere count right now, honestly. That is not good. Simo went to Macarena Temple. Aye? And with that, welcome to the Thunder Plains. Better known these days as the Reset Plains. Why? Because most ambushes here will kill us. Also, yay, lightning dodges. Who doesn't love the lightning dodges? So yeah, we really hope we don't get ambushes here. If we get an ambush here, as I said, most ambushes will absolutely have the chance to murder us if they want to. We really hope that doesn't happen. We do have autosave, but autosave puts us right back at the start of a zone.
I'll be right back.
Which means going through all the encounters again, going through all the walking again. We just really don't want to see.
So easy on you next time.
The second half is going to be a lot easier, since we'll be getting a equipment piece on the halfway mark that will make Titus completely immune to lightning damage.
I'll be right back.
And you know, we're on the Thunder Plains. Nearly everything deals lightning damage here. Or casts thunder spells.
You guys are toast. Live and let live. Live and let live.
Not this time. If I remember correctly, it was, I said it was 6 sword. I know that's 5. That was between 11.
I'll be right back.
Did I use 6 spears so far? Really just wondering right now if I miscounted my speed spheres in Kilika. There are no checkpoints in the notes for that for a while. 5 and 4. Give me that lightning shield. Yay, we're now immune to lightning damage on Titus. Alright, we are looking for 2 specific encounters here, and that is one of them, but preferably not as an ambush. Because those guys hurt, and those guys can confuse. We really don't like either of those. But that is exactly the encounter that I was looking for. Very sad. That we got it as an ambush. Let's hope we get it again. The preempt. Hey, perfect. Right. Titus for Riku. Riku grenade. Should be able to overkill the flying eyes. Of course, we low rolled one of them. Honestly, I should have stolen here. That one was my bad, and I also shouldn't have defended. Double mess up here on my part. It's fine. Surely that's not the last Iron Golem we're gonna see. So yeah, that's 3. That means we need another 3 for the rest of the run, if I'm actually correct. honestly wouldn't mind getting a few more. I mean, there's an encounter that we can take in Beaconell that gives 4. We should be starting to get speed sphere checkpoints in the notes soon, so I can make sure that I have enough. Alrighty then, defend, Walker to Riku. Steal for a very important item, the light curtain. Or in defend, our golem always attacks the person with the lowest HP. Riku's overdrive is full, I got speed spheres, everyone is happy. Gonna play it safe here, make a quick autosave here as a safety save. In case we do get an unlucky ambush that I don't have to go through half the area again and hope for iron golems again. Honestly, kinda wanna take this one, but I can't. In theory, I could throw a grenade on here, but then if I get unlucky on the Seymour fight, that can cause me to not being able to finish the run. And again, there should be other fights that I can get grenades on, or... Yeah, there should be a couple places where I can steal grenades and a couple places where I can buy grenades, honestly. We're not gonna do that. A lot of iron golems here on the second half. Kind of impressive. Last run I didn't see a single one, now I'm getting all the iron golems. Alright, Makalania! Get Riku back in, because Riku is on a mission now here. We don't really like having Riku in the party, because Riku is faster than Titus, which means she will always go before him. Which means with every fight that is not the fights that we look for, we need to do an extra defend, wait for our animation before we can run away. However, Riku has a very, very important role for this one. So we're about to fight the Sphere Morph. Sphere Morph is a special boss, since it is an elemental shifter. What that mean? That means he has one element that he's weak against, and one element he absorbs, and 2 elements that he takes half damage from at all times. Yeah, the Petrify.
I'll be right back.
Our goal is to get an elemental item, the opposite of his first element, that we want to use to deal super effective damage against him. We already got a bomb core from the Riku tutorial, which is a fire elemental item, and then we got the lightning marbles in Guadalsalam, so that covers 2 of the 4 elements. Which would mean, as of right now, abilities not formation. Which would mean, as of right now, we have a 50% chance of success on the fight. Which, you know, 50% isn't that great odds, so we'd like to increase that. Which we luckily can, since there are 2 separate enemies in this area that we can steal a water elemental item and an ice elemental item from. So we really hope to see them and then get to steal the items from them with Riku, getting us from a 50% chance to kill the boss to a 100% chance to kill the boss. And I'd really slowly like to see the 2 enemies that we're looking for, because we're already halfway through the area. Also, they're really liking to attack Titus today, jeez. So many heals. Would minimum like to have at least one of the 2 items, honestly. So yeah, we're looking for a Chimera, which we can steal the Arctic Wind from, which is the ice elemental item. And we are looking for water elementals, which we can steal fish scales from, which is the water elemental item. And I really, really hope to see some, because we're only getting like 2 more encounters. Okay, thank God there's a Chimera. Do not get the rare steel, Riku. Do not get the rare steel, thank you. I got the Arctic Wind. The rare steel here would be more lightning marbles, which we already have, so we don't need them. 75% chance to kill the boss now, which I'm happy with, honestly. I'm not gonna grind out the last one. I'm gonna take my chances with this one. There are backup strats to re-roll his element.
Well, holiday prices on all items.
Telling him that his wares are too expensive. Gonna sell the stunning steel, the buckler, and the, where is it, hunter spear we picked up earlier. Then buy the sonic steel, one of the best weapons in the game, and a shimmering blade for Orin.
I'll go with...
Sonic Steel has the unequip effect First Strike, which means that no matter what fight we now get in, Titus will always be the first person to get a move in. Which we can use in so many different ways to script fights in ways that we really want the fights to script in, and I forgot to change my formation before coming in here. Should be fine though, Yuna. Guess should be fine, I guess should be fine. Yeah, use a grenade here. Check the element, which element is it? Hope it's not thunder, it is fire. Fire is fine, we have the ice item. Orin for Kamari. Kamari defend because you need experience here. Yuna already did, that already did, everything's fine. So he used fire, we're gonna mix an Arctic Wind with an HP Sphere. HP Sphere and the Arctic Wind to create an attack that hits like 9 times for 1500 damage or so, since he is weak to ice, or 1300 in this case, which is more than enough to immediately kill this enemy, which is why I said we're currently in the age of Riku. Those were like 13,000 damage, loads of damage. And we don't even need to get her levels or anything. She's just that good without anything. Don't forget it this time. No, not Yuna. Kamari moves down. We're gonna use the experience now that we got from the fight. And since we didn't level up, this boss gave a lot of levels for the people involved. I'm gonna use those now with Kamari to move over here to Riku to also teach him how to use Steal and Use. And Riku, we're gonna move one field down, give her a bit more speed and agility, and that's literally all we ever gonna do with Riku because she's perfect like she is. Titus Lulu Kamari. Mega Potion to heal everyone, and off to the next boss. Which is gonna go fairly similar, except that we already know the weakness of the next boss. The next boss has a weakness to lightning. However, he has a little bit too much health for us to kill him with just the mix, like we just did with Spheromorph. So we will have to throw a couple lightning marbles at him beforehand. And the other thing is we just used Riku's overdrive, so her overdrive gauge is empty. Fortunately though, this boss is very peculiar. Once we destroy a little toy of his that is usually there to make it so we can't use magic and we can't summon his little negator up here. Once we kill that, he will charge up a magic attack. And during that magic attack, we'll do absolutely nothing except countering whenever we attack him. So that thing has exactly 1000 HP. We hope we hit the lightning marble high enough. Hey, actually getting it for once. Actually getting the high roll for once. Otherwise, I would have had to throw a second lightning marble at the enemy. So we're just gonna throw a lightning marble here. He's gonna counter, kill Riku, nearly charge her overdrive. Sadly, not quite enough. Gonna do the exact same thing with Kamari here to get him a little bit lower, and then he is also going to get murdered. Oh no, we have 2 dead characters. Well, let's go revive Riku. Mana Beam 2 turns. We don't really care. We're gonna use another lightning marble to deal a little bit more damage and get one more counterattack to fill Riku's overdrive to full. Switching out for Yuna because he also wants experience for this fight. Who's going to use the Mega Phoenix we dropped from Extractor. Very important item. Then Yuna for Titus. Titus wants to get turns in. We want to switch his weapon for the Brotherhood now, as we want to use that for later. And then we're gonna mix a level 2 key sphere with a lightning marble. Level 2, there it is. We just dropped those from the Spheromorph. And then similar attack to what we just used on the Spheromorph, just in lightning this time. Gonna hit 9 times for massive damage. And with this, the Age of Riku will come to a pause. As now begins the Age of Titus for the speedrun. Alright, we want Kamari to move 4 spaces down, get the HP and the agility. Get the HP and the agility down here. Then we want to move over to Titus, who is going to use the other level 2 key sphere, and then with that move over to Orange Sphere Grid. And that's not just Orange Sphere Grid, it's Orange late game Sphere Grid, where we find a lot of very high strength nodes. Every node that we have here, any ability node, has like different strengths between 2 and 3 stats for everything. As you can see, these strengths just were both worth 4 points, which is a lot. 1 over strength sphere that we won from the Blitzball, which turns this empty into another +4 strength. Then into the center of the thing, get everything, the strength, the HP, the speed. And last but not least, we move over to this strength over here. Also get that. And with that, Titus suddenly becomes from hitting for like 200 damage to hitting to like 2000 damage. But that is not all, because we can make him even stronger. Since in the next boss fight there is going to be a special action that is going to be a talk. By talking to Seymour in this boss fight, we can give Titus another massive boost onto his strength. I think it's doubling it or something like that. To make him hitting from like 2000 damage that he has right now to hitting like 4000 damage. Which is huge. You know, he in the last fight, Titus used attack. He attacked for 200 points, like 200 to 300 points, thanks to the lightning steel. We also switched him on the Brotherhood a little bit because the Brotherhood has added abilities to deal more damage. The Brotherhood, just by equipping it, we have 15% more strength. Alright, order. Order is important. We haste first. We changed Yuna's weapon to the staff so she can act earlier again, because we want her out as fast as possible. We're gonna use the Stone Breath that we stole earlier from the Basilisk to kill his 2 guards. The 2 guards would intercept every attack that we try to do on Seymour and are generally just terrible to go to. We're gonna talk to Seymour here for the strength buff. Titus' strength increases. We're gonna switch out Yuna for Oren. Defend 1 more time. Seymour will cast Blizzara, which is very important, because Seymour does his attacks in a set order. 1 defend, 1 attack. So now after he used Ice Magic, the next spell he will do will always be Thunder. And as you might remember, hey, we have an equipment piece on Titus that makes him immune to Thunder. That we're saying hello to Anima. Anima can be a very scary fight. I've personally not experienced it, funny enough. No time like the present, I guess. We're gonna defend with everyone except for Titus. We're going to switch Titus out for Walker. And then switch his weapon so he gets his turn faster again. Anima will always start with Pain, which is an instant death on whoever it hits. Switching out the next best character again for Titus, who's just gonna start attacking. Oren is gonna switch out for Riku, who's gonna do some steals. We want silence grenades. That is the rare steal that I really didn't want to see today. Anima is now boosting, which lowers Anima's defense. Please give me some... Oh, okay, great. No steals, yay. That is terrible. So we got a rare steal and a failed steal for a Farplane Shadow, which I'm not even sure what it does anymore. Weapon to Sonic Steel, defend until Fandara. I think it's like an instant death kind of thing. Oh no, he killed Riku and charged her overdrive. And good night. Which we really don't want, because the normal steal on Anima are 3 silence grenades, which is a very powerful item that we really want a couple of. On top of simply being better than grenades. Grenades usually dealing like 300, 350-ish damage. Silence grenades compared to that deal like 700. I need 10 speed at this point, so I'm 7 short. Jesus Christ, still 7 short? That is insane. I don't think... I can't remember the last time I've been that short on speed spheres. That's fine. At least I know now how short I am. We can get those easily in Beacon-L. Yeah, so the thing is, the silence grenades are, as I said, just very powerful grenades. Deal about double the damage of a normal grenade. Which we can use to kill a couple enemies later on, which is why we really want them. And on top of that, since, well, their name is Silence Grenade, they inflict silence on enemies. There is one fight later on where we kinda really want the Silence Grenade for the silence, and there are a couple fights later on where we want the grenades for the damage. Deals the same damage as sleeping powders and smoke bombs that we can steal in encounters soon to come in desert. We want a total of 6 of these throwables, so being able to steal them from Anima helps. Especially since Anima, we don't steal 1 silence grenade on the normal steal. We don't steal 2 silence grenades on the normal steal. We steal a whopping 3 silence grenades on the normal steal. So we get 2 normal steals, which once again, so the first steal is 100% guaranteed to get a steal, and a low chance to get a rare steal, which was the Farplane Shadow, which happened, sadly. And then after 1 successful steal, the steal chance drops to 50%, which we failed and got nothing on. So we could have had 6 silence grenades, which would have already covered all 6 throwables that we want for the near future. And it would have been huge. Unfortunately, instead, I'm now sitting here with 0. So we're gonna have to do a lot more steals in Beacon-L than I really wanted to do. Plus, as I said earlier, there will be 1 fight later on where we might want to get a silence grenade anyways for the silence, which I don't have, which means if we have to do this strategy where we need the silence on the boss, we will now instead have to use Riku's overdrive, which means we need to recharge Riku's overdrive. Also gotta be watching out for my movement here. It's the escape. Oh no, we killed the leader of the Guado. We're traitors, we're sinners, we're heathens. We have to be executed. So obviously they're kind of mad that we killed their leader because he was evil and he was trying to manipulate Yuna into doing some shady shit and kill his father and all that good shit. With good movement, you're able, on the PC version of this game, to outrun those enemies, which is always very nice when it happens. If one of the enemies actually comes too close to you, that will start a fight where they will slowly summon some enemies before we're able to run away from them again, which is kind of annoying every time it happens. So it's nice to have the good movement to get through it. Double checking, Titus is on 1520. HP, yes.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
Pretty sure I touched both save spears, but sometimes I forget to, and then he's only on 1320 because I forgot to touch a save sphere, or even lower if Seymour hit him during the fight, as he did this time. Did I forget the menu? Please don't tell me. No, I did the menu. I did the menu. Order important. Haste. Then Brotherhood for the extra 15% strength. Then kill Guard B. Very important. Do not kill Guard A. Guard B, when dead, will cast Shell on Wendigo. Guard A will cast Protect. We don't want Protect. We use the Light Curtain on Titus, so he can actually survive a Wendigo hit. And then we're gonna start wailing down on the Wendigo. Starting with a Spinal Cut. For good damage. Kamari steals from the Guado Guardian, so he can't use Auto Potion to heal the guy. Riku, I'm gonna switch out for Oren to also get a Power Break on, which is technically optional since I have the Light Curtain on Titus. But this makes it so it's even less likely for Wendigo to kill anyone. We will need to heal here, which I will switch out to Lulu for, because it's nice when Lulu gets some experience for this fight. Now I can use high potions to heal here instead of having to use X potions or elixirs. Like to save those for fights to come in the near future. Let's hope he doesn't actually kill Lulu, because Lulu being dead means Lulu doesn't get experience, which I wouldn't want. Alright. Switching out for Yuna. Yuna defend, because Yuna also wants experience from this fight. Don't kill, thank you, and murder the guard. With a worthless crit. Right, we got all the levels we want. We got extra levels on Lulu for safety. That is about as good as I want this fight to go. No one important was killed. Nothing really bad happened. That's how we like it. Secret chest here with a key sphere that we want for later. And then it's off to the desert. Yay, the desert! Alright, lots of work for us in the desert. Usually, most runs, the desert is literally just, oh yeah, just run through it. Don't worry about anything.
Need some help?
Not really, Oren. Switch weapon back to the Sonic Steel, because we want the first strike to get away from everything. Okay, so, following problem now.
Are you alright?
We didn't get any silence grenades, which means we have 0 of the 6 throwables that I want, which means I need to steal 6 throwables. I also want to use some of those throwables to kill birds, because I am, as we just noticed, 7 speed sphere short. Which is, once again, that is a amount that I have not seen in forever, that I've been this
I'll be
short.
right back.
And I could have sworn I counted that we're at 3, so somehow I counted 4 more than I had. Makes sense though. I was wondering why, with the speed spheres that I had, that I thought I had in Kilika,
I'll be right back.
how I was too low to get early haste. But it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. So that means we need 6 throwables for the upcoming fights, of which we want 2 to be specifically sleeping powder.
I can take them.
And then I need another 2
I'll be right back.
throwables to kill birds with in this area. To kill 4 birds, to get 8 speed spheres, to have enough speed spheres for the rest of the run. So we need 8 throwables to steal in total. We are kind of scared of the fights with the dragons in it. The dragon can one-shot my entire party if he wants to. So we really don't want to mess with dragons. The sleeping powders that we just mentioned we can steal from the wolves. Smoke bombs we can steal from the birds. And if we find another one of the big birds, we can even steal 3 smoke bombs off of those. Preferably, I'd like to see us getting the encounter of 1 wolf, 2 birds a few times now. because that is the best encounter to steal our items from.
Isn't there an easier way?
No complaining.
I'll be right back.
And I mean, there is an easier way, just run away from the giant sandworm. Alright, can I now please get some fights? I'm really getting worried right now that I have to waste a lot more time than I want. Oh my god, stop with the dragon encounters!
Yeah, I think.
Stop
I'll be
with
right
the
back.
dragon encounters, or at least give me preemptive so I can play this one safe. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all.
Live and let live.
We might have to literally run circles to get extra encounters. Which I'm really not a fan of. Stop giving me sandworms! Give me the bird instead! The bird at least is useful!
Live and let live.
So I can steal a ton of smoke bombs from them easily. Oh boy, I'm really getting worried right now. We're still at 0 throwables, and up there's the end of the zone already. I can't risk it. Actually, honestly, come on, with this encounter, with this turn auto score, forget. Steal from the birdie. That's one. Kamari goes before the boss again, so steal one from the other birdie. Kamari for Titus run.
I'll be right back.
That's 2 of the 8 that I need. Right, no unit to heal this time around. Finally getting to use Orange Overdrive. He learned a new one, the Shooting Star. Watch out, watch out, watch out! Home run! Yeah, if performed correctly, this Overdrive just ends fights with enemies that are under a certain type, I guess. Not 100% sure about that one. Normal enemies generally. Bosses are immune to this. It's nice because these enemies are incredibly annoying to deal with. Alright, guess we have to run circles in order to get my items, because I'm extremely low on items. Thank you. Alright, switch to Kamari. Steal from the Wolfie for 2 sleeping powders, gets me to 4 items. Steal from the Birdie for a smoke bomb, gets me to 5 items.
I'll be right back.
Which means I need 3 more and at least 1 more kill. I can get Speed Spheres another way. But 7 is a lot, and I'd like to not have to deal with 7, so I'd really like to get 1 more encounter of just a wolf and 2 birds.
I'll be right back.
This is really, really annoying right now. Not getting any steals from Anima and then not running into any feasible steal encounters or kill encounters is really, really annoying and really, really unlucky. Can we stop getting a rarest encounter in this area? Give me the common one. All I want is a wolf and 2 birds. Is that so much to ask for? Apparently, yes.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
1 wolf, 2 birds. Please. I have to. Don't like it. This can go wrong very badly. Okay, we're fine. That gets me to 7 items, and then I can use 1 smoke bomb. getting back down to 6, killing 2 birds. Oh, that is actually enough to kill the Drake. Did not know that. I was very afraid of what was about to happen. Alright, Titus, Lulu Warren, and Sandra Gore skip, please. Thank you, Riku. That's how easy this skip can be. I usually struggle with this a lot. Yeah, usually the moment we walk into too far into that sand pit, the monster in there is gonna attack us. Luckily, Riku is running around with us for whatever reason, which is like a thing that only happens like once or twice across the entire game, that someone follows around us. Oh my god, I forgot the menu. I knew I forgot something. That's annoying. Please tell me I still overkill the bombs, though. I do not. Yeah, I forgot to get one more strength upgrade before this fight. Which is very much not great. Which is very, very much not great. Okay, it's damage roll. That's the issue there. And I've just gotten unlucky for the first one. Cool.
Let's find Yuna, quick!
Extremely terrible split. Partially because of own stupidity, partially because unlucky. .22 power, 10 speed. Yeah, 3 speed short still. I will have to get distillers. That's fine though. Not an ambush, that's the important bit. Switch to Kamari. Kamari will get 2 turns after using Lancet, so we can Lancet from these monsters to learn a new overdrive with him, which immediately fills his overdrive, and then we can just cast Stone Breath to kill them all. Isn't that convenient?
Over here!
And then we get ambushed here. Are you kidding me? Yeah, we're most likely gonna die here. Pretty darn sure it's incredibly rare to survive this one. Well, that's unfortunate. Just whatever you do, don't kill Kamari. We already got lucky here. Okay, good. Whew! Getting an ambush on this encounter is never fun, but this is like the best possible outcome when we get an ambush in this fight. Alright, Kamari, Riku, Titus, very important. If I forget to change that formation before the next boss, we die. And with we die, I mean we literally soft-lock the game in a way that I can't beat the run anymore. Would have to load a practice save. But luckily we were able to, you know, actually do the formation here and do it correctly. And there's no more menuing here, and I already done the menu that I forgot, so everything is fine. Riku has overdrive since she did get killed by Seymour. That all works out. The formation is correctly. Every is gonna go fine. So we're now reaching a point where most of the boss fights become scripted. If you forget one small thing in the menu, if you forget 1 point of agility on a character, if you forget to equip Sonic Steel on Tidus, everything is going to be thrown off so far that it's literally impossible to salvage. For most fights, at least. There are some where you can, but most fights will be unsalvageable if I play wrong. I'm doing another safety save just because I'm superstitious right now. And then I forgot to buy distillers. Yay.
Open the
Didn't meet the weapons. Need items.
I have
Was supposed to do that in the other hallway since sort of dialogue with him. Speed distillers. I need 2.
Thank you. You're...
Right then, Evray! Shows perfectly just how min-maxed we are. We're gonna start with a haste. Gonna continue with a cheer. Unfortunately got the bad turn order, so we have to change Titus's weapon once more in order to get into the cycle that we want. And then we're going to mix an overdrive. We're gonna mix the map and the luck sphere for a mix called the Miracle Drink, which gives us critical, which means now everything our characters do will be a critical attack, which means Titus will now hit for crap tons of damage. And we love Titus hitting for crap tons of damage. 1 attack, 2 attacks. Then we want to do another cheer in order to get the turn order to work out. This one is not for the damage, this one is literally just for the turn order to work out. We have the time to steal a water gem. And now it will be 3 more attacks to kill. This attack will now put him under 10,000 health, which means he will go into haste and into retaliation mode, which means he's now gonna charge his poison breath. What you're supposed to do when he charges poison breath is to give Sid the order to move the airship away. We're just gonna attack to kill. But yeah, if we just do one wrong move and one wrong timing, this doesn't work out. The breath gets out and we will die. That is also what happens in the Blitz loss strat, where we have 4 strength less, so due to the missing just 4 points of strength, I always forget those are in the item category, just for missing 4 points of strength at this point, this strategy does not work, and instead we have to steal a different item in Thunder Plains that gives us Shell in order for us to just barely be able to survive the poison breath. And yeah, we are now using... Actually, that doesn't matter. We're now using Speed Distillers on the enemy. Speed Distiller is an item that changes the item drop of an enemy. Nice crit. Sleeping Powder, very important for this fight, else these guys will literally murder me. Because if they're not sleeping, they're doing AoE attacks that are really damaging to us. Finish them off with a Smoke Bomb. Yeah, with the Speed Distillers, we change the drops of the enemies from their usual. In this case, they usually drop ability spheres, which we don't need, so instead we use the Distillers to change it so they are dropping speed spheres now. Which, if you remember, I said we were still 3 speed spheres short, and we are guaranteed to overkill them with Titus. Due to being able to guaranteed overkill them with Titus, we will get 2 speed spheres out of each distiller we use. We use 2, so that's now 4 speed spheres that we get that we usually wouldn't have, and which gets us back on route. And I really don't want the 1 HP Riku. 100 HP Riku would have been fine, the 1 HP one just has way too long of an animation. Attack the Kikotronic, attack the Kikotronic again. Throw the Sleeping Powder to make sure those guys don't murder us. And then once again finish them off with a Smoke Bomb. One more fight, and then we're gonna come to the fun part of the game. Haste on Riku. Use 2 smoke bombs to kill the front guards. And then kill the guy in the back with Titus. Okay, now we're coming to the bread and butter of the run. So, we've had the Age of Valfor at the very start, where Valfor killed the first couple bosses for us. Then we had the Age of Riku, dealing with the more annoying bosses. And then we had the Age of Titus, where we just now pumped him full of steroids to deal massive damage, to deal with most of the bosses we've had. And now we're gonna change to the Age of Yuna again with her next summon. But before that we have the Bevel trial, which I will have to focus for a little bit, because while this trial is not really hard, most people hate this trial, I really don't, because it is just that simple. But you do have to focus a little bit on a few things. Most of the turns in this trial are on certain cycles, and there are just certain turns that you can't take on certain cycles. So, you know, you just gotta make sure you're on the right cycles, and then the trial is easy. Turn them back. It also gets surprisingly easy once you realize you can actually hold X in order to activate these turns, which is very nice when you know there's only one turn. For these right here, where you could have turned left or right, you do want to time your X press with the correct one to decide that you want to do and not hold it. But like for most, from now on, there's like one junction where we actually want to do a certain pattern, but for most of the others you can literally just hold. Makes this so much nicer. Moving down. Alright, now here comes a very important cycle. I don't want to take the first opportunity to go left. I want to take the second one. So not this one, but this one. By taking the second one, you can see the second junction in the front is now pointing to the right, which is exactly where we want to go. If I would have taken the first opportunity to take this one, the junction would have shown front, and it literally would have been impossible for me to take this junction into the side. Which is what I meant earlier with cycle-based, because, you know, the one you're standing on goes in 3 directions, with the other ones only going in 2 directions. And this one sends you very quickly, so you would have just went right over here without a chance to go right here. Glyph in the pedestal, Pavel in the side. Hey, Madelon, morning. Thanks for the good luck. Don't really need it anymore. The run has gone to crap already. I'm like 6 minutes behind PB. Luck can't save this PB anymore. Grab the Destruction Sphere for the very first time. In this temple it is required. This is the only temple that you can't revisit later. So they made the Destruction Sphere, the special chest, unmissable in this one. Collecting all the special chests in every single trial being the requirement to unlock Anima later in the game. Second arrow points to the right, we go front. We always need to have one sphere in the pedestal in order for it to move over. Technically keeping one in the hand simply because it's more convenient than walking around the pedestal another 5 times sometimes to get the correct angles to put spheres in. Small optimizations here and there. And with that, we're nearly done. So we can talk about what's coming up next. So I said, it's coming up to the Age of Yuna again, because for those who have played the game, we are about to unlock Bahamut! And you know, Bahamut, always in Final Fantasy, a very, very powerful summon in most Final Fantasy games, and in this one that stands true as well, but we're gonna use him in a way that many people wouldn't expect. Because, you know, when you think of Yuna in Final Fantasy X, you think of, you know, the healer, the caster, maybe give her a little bit of magic, maybe teach her a spell or two from Lulu's board so she has some attack magic as well. So, you know, generally people think of Yuna as a magical DPS, which, to be fair, is what she is usually pushed to. Absolutely not what we're gonna play her as today, because we're gonna turn her into Drain the Rock Johnson. We're gonna pump her so full of strength that even Titus is gonna be jealous at this point of the game. And all her stats directly affect the stats of her Aeons. In this case, especially for Bahamut, for every strength we give to Yuna, Bahamut will get such a massive boost. And that is doubly impressive so, because Bahamut is one of few espers in the game that immediately by default come with the break damage cap ability. So most espers that we've, all espers that we've unlocked so far, and all of our characters, are currently nerfed by a damage cap. That damage cap is 9,999. No matter what we do, we can't go over 9,999 damage with anything we do. However, Bahamut does not have that restriction. Which means Bahamut, right off the bat, the moment we get him, has the ability to immediately, if we get him the stats, of course, to do so, to immediately hit over 10,000 points of damage. And how are we going to achieve that? Well, very simple. We've picked up some teleport spheres here in the desert, which allow a person that uses it to teleport to a field that another character activated already. And you might see where this is coming, because we just moved Orin very deep into his own board, using a couple splits. I think it's actually Walker's board, not Orin's board. 2 strength, 4 strength, 6 strength. And now we're gonna use the teleport sphere I just mentioned to get up here to where we just got Orin. Gonna also use a magic sphere. And then we're gonna start getting some stats. Magic, 4 strength. Moving 1, 2, 3, 1 up. More strength, more HP. Bit more magic. 1 to the right, the strength and the defense. 1 right, 1 down over here to get the agility and the MP. Moving 1 left, 1 down to over here, getting the HP and the strength. Another 2 down to get that HP, that strength, and the magic over here. Grabbing the level 1 key sphere down here to get in that corner, to get this strength and that agility. Moving 2 over here, only activating the strength. Then moving 1 more down, 1 more strength, speed, and MP. And that's the menu. For now. And of course, we immediately get a Larva Eater.
I hate this place.
I do too, because the encounter rate in here is absolutely horrendous. Alright, so with all that strength that we just got, we also got a couple magic and MP. You might wonder when I just said we're gonna mainly use her in strength. There are certain thresholds that basically every stat Yuna gets also gives a small boost to all espers, to all Aeons, to all summons, to all icons, to all eidolons, to all bestia. I don't think I already said bestia. We already had that discussion. Way too many names for these. We're gonna use Ixion for a couple fights here. We want to kill a couple monsters on the way now for some to link up with the experience later. If we would just try to run away here, we would be missing experience later. We want to get 4 kills between here and the Seymour boss. I hope we only get 2 here. I prefer to only get 2 here. If I don't get a third one here, I'm gonna be very happy. Hey, let's go. We used Ixion here specifically because Ixion has a fairly fast summon and attack animation, which we're going to be using in one of these fights. We're going to be going into the so-called Pokemon fight, where it's us versus Isaru, us versus Isaru's Espers. Isaru's Espers have different stats to ours, and we're going to use Bahamut for the first 2, which are going to be Ifrit and Velfor. And this is where we get a first glimpse at the absurdity that is the build that we're on. Since, as I said, we just gave Yuna a bunch of strength, yes. We've just seen Ixion, however, only hit for 4,000 damage. 4,000 is not that much damage, honestly, right? So how much can the modifiers actually help Bahamut here? That's you know, it's still only 4,000, right? And no, it's 12,000 actually. Well, that's a small difference to Ixion. To be sure, before this, the hardest hitting hits we had was like 6,000 on boosting Anima while having the extra strength boost on Titus, or the 7,000 that was only 7,000 because it was a crit on Evray. Those were like the numbers we were doing. The more common ones were to see 3,000 damage hits with Titus. And now we're immediately sitting here. Bahamut joins. Bahamut deals 12,000 damage. That's why we saved up all the levels on Yuna. And for the third fight, sadly, Isaru is going to summon Bahamut, which means I can't summon Bahamut, unfortunately. Luckily, we have another capable Esper that we capable Bestia that we already summoned once to get the shorter summon animation. So this one is going to be a job for Ixion. We will need 4 hits to kill with Ixion. Ixion will be doing about 5,000 damage per hit. He has 20,000 health. If we can get a crit with Ixion here within the first 3 attacks, that's actually huge. So we really hope Ixion puts in that little bit of extra work. Ixion is getting paid for this later, so, you know, please don't just do the bare minimum, Ixion. Please actually do the best job you can, and of course he doesn't. Why would he do that? At least he didn't crit the last hit. That's always the worst when he crits the last attack. Alright, moving on to the underwater section. So, anyone remember struggling with this boss as a kid, or even as an adult? We're about to meet Evray Altana, which is a different color variation of the boss that we've just fought a little bit earlier. However, this time we don't have a luck mix anymore. This time we don't have an airship to protect us. This time we're literally just having Titus, Walker, and Orin. Titus, Walker, and Kamari. However, this boss does have a twist in the fact of it is permanently covered in zombie status, so... Oh no, I accidentally threw that elixir on the boss. Whatever shall I do? Oh no, I accidentally threw another elixir at the boss. Oh no, how terrible! Did I say Kamari there? Sorry, I meant... Walker and Riku. But yeah, that's a side effect also of the cutscene remover, that their models are blacked out because they're just that irrelevant for the battle that the cutscene remover is like, yeah, I'm not even gonna load their models in. They don't do anything in this fight, so why would I spend the time loading their models? Elixirs of East Hunter Advertisement from inventory. Technically, yes, but also mainly just because I like to keep my Phoenix Downs. There's always a chance that a fight goes wrong in the game, and I use too many Phoenix Downs, and we want to kill the final boss with a Phoenix Downs. And I've definitely had runs before that I've just had a couple deaths too many, and then the 2 Phoenix Downs on every Altana here ended me up on 0 Phoenix Downs, and then I didn't have one for the final boss and didn't notice until the final boss. So I, these days, just prefer to use the elixirs here if possible. Alright, Titus is back into the party, so let's do some more menuing for Yuna. We have a second teleport sphere, which we can now use to get over here to Titus's board. Which means another 4 strength, and that makes 8 strength, and a bit of defense. And then a little bit more here, that makes 12 strength, a bit more health, a bit more speed. And then over here for the extra defense. And then over here for the extra strength, which brings us to, what is that? That's 4 times 4, that's 16 strength. So yeah, 16 strength on Yuna, that, you know, that can't be that much though, right? I mean, before we were doing 12,000 damage, now we have 16 strength more. But what's 16 strength gonna do in the grand scheme of things? Bahamut is surely not gonna be hitting that much harder, right? Surely 16 strength don't make that much of a difference to the 12,000 damage that he was dealing beforehand. How much could that be? Like I don't know, like 4,000, like maybe 10, maybe 6, 7, 8,000. Maybe he's like 20, 22,000 now. And nope, he's hitting 35,000. 35,000! And I've literally just unlocked this guy. We're not supposed to be doing these kind of numbers of damage.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
So now, for the rest of the game, every boss fight is gonna look something like this. We summon Bahamut. We attack, and things die. On rare occasions, we summon Bahamut, we attack twice, and things die. Look at that crit for 73,000 damage. Thunder Moomba, what a troll. Sphere Grid, Yuna was... scroll notes, was just a strength. I actually forgot to check Lulu. Oh boy, that's not good. I forgot to check Lulu. Lulu is a level too low, which I was supposed to remedy by giving her a turn on the boss fight just now, which means, unfortunately, I will have to do another extra XP getting some point here before the next boss. Or maybe during the next boss? I could do it during the next boss, honestly.
We'll get through this.
I got Riku in because we need one more item. We need a fire gem. We even get 2, which is nice, which means I don't have to deal with menuing. I can just throw them. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I've turned on the robot thing. Titus is fast enough. If I put Yuna back into the party before the fight, then I can switch Titus for Lulu, defend with her, then summon and kill the robot. That does work out. Means one small extra menu, but that really doesn't matter. Alright, in the very old days of speedrunning Final Fantasy X, we would do a huge detour and grinding session here in the Calmlands. First of all, we'd go to the very top left corner of the area to meet the Chocobo lady. Start to train Chocobos so we can ride Chocobos, then move all the way over to Remian Temple, where we do the Chocobo race there twice in order to get 30 of an item called Wings of Discovery. And then we spent some time here stealing fire gems from Flans, or I think bribing them was actually back then the strat. You saved money to bribe them, so they just leave the battle voluntarily and leave behind a large amount of fire gems. With those Wings of Discovery, if you mixed 2 of them together with Miku's Mix Overdrive, you'd get a overdrive called Trio of 9,999. What does Trio of 9,999 do? Well, it gives every character on the field currently the passive 9,999. Due to which everything those characters do will always deal 9,999. For a potion, heals for 9,999. Do a normal attack, deals 9,999. Throw a grenade, deals 9,999. Throw a fire gem, deals 5 times 9,999. Use Lulu's Overbreak to get her Fury to do like 6 thunder casts for 9,999 each. Use Titus's second overdrive. Actually, I'm not sure if they grinded out the second overdrive. I'm pretty sure they didn't. For him to hit 6 or 7 times 9,999. It was insane, and it was the main thing that was used back in the days. Until someone went like, wait, Bahamut has break damage limit. I wonder how well he scales with Yuna's, if we just get a ton of strength for Yuna. And, well, you're seeing the result of that today. Yeah, put Yuna back into the party.
Halt!
No! We're not halting for anyone. Alright, Titus for Lulu. Get a defense in. Now Lulu gets experience for the fight. Get Bahamut in. Crit, 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 crit. This guy has enough health that it would take 2 attacks for me to kill him. If I crit on the first, fight would be immediately over, and I could have skipped over seeing all these attack animations here. As always, I'm not getting lucky with that though, and it is not happening. So yeah, in the glitch, in the manip category, we now go down here to enter the Cavern of the Stolen Faith, where there is an enemy called a ghost that is rare to encounter, that has an even rarer chance than the chance to encounter him, to drop him armor, a peaceful armor that has the on-equip effect no encounters. Which is why it is dubbed the no encounter armor. As I said, we can't RNG manipulate the true RNG version of the cutscene remover, so we literally aren't able to do that, even if I wanted to. Which I can't, didn't want because I can't. And welcome to the most impactful fight for the rest of the game. Welcome to Biran Yankee. We will be killing them using gems, which will overkill them, which means their drops will be doubled. Their normal drop are return spheres. Their rare drops are friend spheres. There's 3 separate routes that we can do from here on out, depending on the items we get. 4 returns being the most common one, 2 and 2 being the stronger one and rarer one, and 4 friends only having a 1 in 64 to happen. Unfortunately, we got the 4 return here, which, as I said, is the most common, but also the slowest one. And I really would have hoped we get at least a 2 and 2, because it's been a while since I've last got a 2 and 2. But that is fine, and 4 returns is a strategy that works. It will mean that I have to do 1 extra menu compared to the other 2 routes before Yunalesca. Alright, use return sphere to the strength. Move down here, get the strength and the agility. And Titus, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget to actually activate armor break. That is a mistake that I made in one of my practice runs. That I moved him down here but forgot to get the ability, which was very not nice on the boss to come. Customize the Shimmering Blade with First Strike for a Sonic Blade, and the Staff with a First Strike for a Wind Rod. And then Formation, Titus... No, wait. Titus Cavalry Walker. Welcome to Mount Gagazet. I hate this place because the encounter rate in this place is just way too high. And the moment I say it, I'm actually getting one of the longest stretches of no encounters that I have seen in forever. Alright, so, for return. For return is annoying, because for return means we have to do the silence strat for Seymour Flux. And since we said earlier on Anima we didn't get lucky enough to actually get a silence grenade, we will have to use Riku's Overdrive instead. Which means we have to recharge Riku's Overdrive between this Seymour fight and the next Seymour fight. Which there isn't really a good way to do it. They're all fairly slow and taking time. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, thanks to the 4 return spheres, I was able to now also customize 2 more First Strike weapons, one for Oren, one for Yuna. Which is the same one that Titus has, which means always being able to get the first turn, the first move in a fight. Since all 3 have it, it means it will go after agility values again. Yuna by now has more agility than Titus, which means Yuna will now always go first when both of them are in a party. Which is why we want to have Yuna as little as possible in the party. Because, you know, having to spend an extra turn defending before being able to run away takes time, and if you have to do that like 50 times, that takes a lot of time. But thanks to that, we basically now get 3 actions before anything, if we have those 3 in the starting party. And that will be very detrimental in a couple bosses, mostly, however, noticed here on Seymour Flux and later on Braska's Final Aeon. Would her overdrive max out when... No, sadly not. Self-damaging does not fill overdrive. The way to fill her overdrive is to either find a behemoth or a behemoth in the caves, or a robot, one of the big robots in Xanarkand, and then escape with the other 2 characters and have that enemy smack Riku. Which the escapes of the characters can fail, and then the robot can smack one of the characters if it goes wrong. So it is a whole thing, and it sadly takes a little while. But it is really not the end of the world. It is a little bit annoying, but that's all it is. Though there is a chance that we won't have... I mean, no, there isn't a chance that we have to, because we have to use the overdrive beforehand. So, Seymour Flux on 4 return is a little bit special, because Bahamut does not have the damage to actually kill Seymour Flux in a single attack, unless we land a crit. In the other versions of the fight, we just smack him once with Yuna and then summon Bahamut and kill. In this version of the strategy, sadly, we have to now throw in Riku's Overdrive, which will be HP Sphere Grenade. HP sphere grenade. Also, it's poison though, so that's good. Summon Bahamut. And now the thing is, we need Bahamut to crit here. If Bahamut crits here, we save about a minute. If Bahamut doesn't crit here, Bahamut is gonna get killed by Seymour actually, and then we have to whack Seymour like 4 or 5 more times. And of course we didn't get the crit. Luckily we did get the poison though.
Death away.
So we will need less whack since the poison will do a number on him. Which also means I have to go out of my way now to touch another save crystal to make sure Bahamut gets revived. Which otherwise I wouldn't have to do. Formation Yuna out of the party again. Well, then we're coming on to Mount Gagazet. Where I hopefully will not fail one of the easier minigames in the game by being stupid. That would be a very embarrassing thing to do in front of a live studio audience. And yeah, we're now looking for a behemoth, specifically. Usually I don't want to see behemoths here, because we will have Walker in the team in a moment as soon as we get to the water the first time, and Walker always likes to make extra comments on behemoths about wonder how many stays we can get out of those. So I usually don't want to see behemoths here, but now we really do want to see a behemoth here. Because we do need Riku's Overdrive for a backup strat on Seymour Omnis. Or, if we don't need the backup strat, we do need her Overdrive for Braska's Final Aeon. To be fair, it's not that hard as long as the game doesn't bullshit you. Which can very much happen. We're in shark-infested waters. Because yeah, you can see that there's the walls around, and there's the small thingies inside. So you always want to throw on the third, just before the third hole on this spot. It's really not that hard to memorize. But there are sometimes some bullshit hitboxes where it absolutely looks like you didn't hit anything. Like, there was nothing hindering that ball from going through, but he just bounces off the air and comes back. Even though it absolutely should have hit. And with that, we're explaining the last battle strategy, really, for most of the bosses in the rest of the game. So yeah, as I said, most of the bosses in the rest of the game are just gonna be summon Bahamut, attack, win. We're gonna have a few bosses, however, where that is not possible. And those bosses specifically being so powerful that they can't be killed in a single attack. Usually. But if I don't kill them in a single attack, they will be able to get a very powerful attack out. Which will immediately kill Bahamut. And there we go. And of course. God damn it, Walker, you had one job. At least Titus got out easily. As long as one person escapes, the fight does not count as a game over. And yeah, because those enemies have such a powerful attack that they would kill us if we can't kill them in one hit, there's a little something that we can use called Armor Break, the ability that we just taught Titus, which does exactly what what you think it does from the name. It lowers the enemy's defense, allowing Bahamut to suddenly hit a lot harder than he otherwise would. And with that hitting a lot harder, suddenly the enemies are going to be able to be one-shot. Those will be used on the upcoming Sanctuary Keeper, and then once again on Seymour Omnis. Which is very embarrassing if you move Titus over to Armor Break, but then forget to actually activate it. Because there's no good autosave before the next boss. So you lose about just 2 minutes of having to go back to the boss. Green goes into green, because Riku has the green color on the sphere grid, Titus has the blue color on the sphere grid, and Orin isn't here, but Walker is roughly the same size. First of all, that would require us to go out of our way to get to fight Belgemine in order for him to be able to learn abilities, which, you know, is a detour in and of itself. And saying he does have piercing, but Armor Break does more than just remove the piercing armor. It also lowers the actual enemy's defense. So as I've seen in the last couple fights, Bahamut usually hit for like 35, 40,000. We're gonna slap Armor Break on the next fight, and then suddenly he's gonna hit for 70,000. Or honestly, maybe he doesn't have Pierce, I'm not 100% sure about enemy. I'm honestly, I could be wrong on that, I haven't read up on that, I haven't played the game casually in a while. I could be wrong on that. But honestly, he hit the exact same on both Seymour's and on the robot. The robot definitely has Pierce. The Seymour shouldn't have. And still, he hit the same amounts of damage on all of them. Boop. Yeah, suddenly there was 60k damage. So suddenly dealing 20,000 more after an Armor Break. Pretty unsure the Seymours aren't pierced. I mean, Yuna hit for 4,000. Surely that wasn't through Pierce. Through Armor. Anyways, we're coming up to one of my favorite areas, because I love the outsides of Xanarkand, because I love Fleeting Dream. It's one of my favorite soundtracks from the game. So I'm really looking forward to it. Alright, Xanarkand. I need the Fortune Sphere. I need the Friend Sphere, because I got 4 returns. I need the Luck Sphere, and then we have the menu before Sanctuary Guardian, and then another menu before Yunalesca that I shouldn't forget today. I did forget it 2 days ago on my PB run. Paid dearly for it. I forgot to get Yuna out of the party again. I just love the vibes here, honestly. The soothing soundtrack of impending doom that even continues throughout the battle. Alright, what's coming up? What's coming up? We have Zetterkan. Zetterkan does literally just run for everything. We don't need anything. If we would have gotten the bat, see more flux, and wouldn't have gotten the overkill, we would have had to make up for it by getting a couple more kills in Zetterkan on robots. Which we do not have to, because everything worked out on Flux, and he died by Yuna's overkill. We have the 4 returns, so as I said, I do need to get out of my way to grab the Friend Sphere chest. Which only the 4 return route needs to do. If we would have gotten 2 Friend Sphere drops or 4 Friend Sphere drops, we would not have the need to go over here. And we also would have been a lot stronger already. But yeah, in generally, the different routes, depending on your drops, aren't that different. We still get, basically, by the end of the game, we still get all the exact same notes. It's just more about the order of doing things in, depending on how many levels Yuna has at some points and the spheres we have. For example, if we would have gotten Friend Spheres, we wouldn't have gotten over to the end of Titus's board, where we just got a tiny strength boost and a tiny agility boost. We would have Friend Sphered over to where we brought Lulu, where we would have gotten like 12, 16 strength-ish and a good amount of agility. By first going over to Lulu, activating the 2 strength spheres that we already positioned her on, and then moving Lulu a little bit further to another strength and 2 more agility nodes, and then Friend Sphering again over to that. Due to which, again, Bahamut would have been able to actually have enough damage to kill Seymour Flux in 1 attack. Now, since we had 4 return spheres instead of 2 and 2, we're gonna do that menu now when we go to Lulu. Except that now we also have a couple more levels, so we don't move with Lulu, and we also only have 1 Friend Sphere instead of 2. So we move over to Lulu and then use the levels we gotten on Yuna so far again to get her to the place by herself. Which means Friend Sphere to Lulu. Get the powers down here. Up right over here. Use the Luck Sphere that we got earlier, activated with the Fortune Sphere. Then get the Agility up here, and then we use the extra Return Spheres that we got by now to just skip having to use levels by just teleporting to the next one. Use the Power Sphere to activate the Strength over here. Use another Return Sphere to get to that Strength. And then another Speed Sphere for the other Agility. Nothing to do with the others. We already customized Yuna in the party. Touch the Save Sphere, very important, otherwise Bahamut doesn't get the HP increase from doing the menu, and yay! Xanarkin Trial, aka Tetris Time! Why is it Tetris Time? Well, because we're trying to find Tetris pieces on the floor. Which is like one of the very few parts of the run that I actually do still need notes for. Most of the run I'm fine without. Except for like the really big menus these days. Since, as I said, I haven't ran the new reroute since we got Mushroom Rock Skip that much yet. I still have a big PB to cash in on if I practice a little bit more. But basically before that happened, I was able to run like the entire game by heart except for this puzzle. Or I was also able to do this puzzle by heart, honestly, just, you know, a lot slower. So I still had the notes up all the time. And it's lights out, and away we go. Which honestly makes this puzzle easier in my opinion. Sure, with the light you're able to see the outskirts of the buttons a little bit more. To know what shapes they are. Without the light, that is a little bit harder to see, but you see the activation points easier, which we, you know, want to try to avoid most of them. And since I do have a map on the other screen that shows me exactly the squares that I have to press on, this helps. Don't accidentally activate the square. Two more to go. And then, yeah, we're coming up to Spectral Keeper. Which, casually, is probably one of the most annoying bosses in the entire game, if you ask me. He comes with an annoying mechanic where there's different platforms around him that he can teleport around to. And every time he gets attacked, he counters with a cleaving attack that hits the free spaces in front of him, so you always want to make sure that you're the free space behind them, or basically that you're having your character spread out, so that never is there more than one character that's getting attacked by the cleaves from the counters. Then he can also inflict Berserk with his normal attacks, which becomes more annoying because, you know, you're attacking more without being able to move around. Which means more counters, which means most likely death for at least one character. But yeah, luckily we will not have to deal with any of that in the speedrun. Bahamut, once again, as always, will be able to kill him in 2 attacks. In 1 attack if we get lucky and get a crit. And then we get a counter, and depending on RNG with the turn order, we'll either immediately get after the counter our second attack, or he will get 1 more attack in before, but we have just enough health and defense that we're able to survive with like 100, 150 HP. Or, you know, as I just said, we just get lucky, get a crit, don't have to deal with any of that, save a decent amount of time from not having to see all those damn animations. Crit? Never lucky. But yeah, min-maxing. Don't worry, I know it looks scary, but he should literally be not be able to kill you even if he high rolls both attacks. I think. Alright, very important. One more menu with Yuna. We use a black magic sphere to learn fire. Then use a return sphere to get to that fire. Forgetting this menu is very lethal. Get the agility. But more importantly, the MP and the strength here. Now Bahamut will guaranteed do above 60,000 damage with every single attack on Yunalesca. If I wouldn't have gotten that menu, he'd hit somewhere between 55 to 60,000 per hit. Which means he wouldn't be able to guaranteed kill the last phase in one attack. Which wouldn't be great. Which definitely didn't happen to me in literally just my last run. And I definitely didn't low roll so much that the Titus attack after that also didn't kill him. So I had to sit through another Yunalesca attack and before finishing off with a Yuna attack. Still not getting an overkill for it either. Not like I'm speaking from experience or anything. And yeah, only the 4 return spheres route has to do the menu here before Yunalesca. With both 2 friends and 4 friends, you already have enough power here to deal with her without having to do the menu here. But yeah, as said before, completely luck-based. If you get the other ones. Casting Mega Death, which we really don't care about because summons are immune to death. Getting our Mind Blasted, which we also don't really care about. And then attacking one more time for the kill. We're looking out for drops. We got a sword. Alrighty then, that is a little unfortunate. And with the name, I'm also not even 100% sure. I'm not sure if I just got unlucky and got actually a non-zombie strike weapon. Usually whenever you kill Yunalesca, she's whenever she drops a weapon, that weapon should have zombie strike. I'm not sure why this is a Baroque sword now instead of whatever the zombie name is. Maybe it also has a strength plus 3% on it or something, I'm not sure. I hope it just has to have zombie attack. I probably will have to double check that later. Before the final fight. Getting a weapon with zombie strike from Yunalesca means that I don't have to do an extra menu on Tidus later to get a zombie strike for him for the final boss. Because as funny as it sounds, the final boss of the game is not immune to the zombie status. Which means you can just inflict him with the zombie status, then throw Phoenix down to instant kill, because he also isn't immune to death. Which sadly we don't have access to the spell Death, because it's just way too far out, but, you know, we have the ability for the zombie attack, or by getting lucky on Unaleska, getting a zombie attack weapon. Getting one for Titus isn't the greatest, because Titus does need a Sonic Steel, so that does slightly slow down the actual fight. But it's still faster than having to do like a 20 level movement for Titus again. Also, the most important thing of the entire run.
Hello.
I must thank you for the Aeon.
So,
That little kid is just packing such a punch as Bahamut.
The final show.
Alright, and with that, welcome to the end game. Where we really hope that Bahamut finally puts in some work. We haven't seen a single Bahamut crit yet that mattered. We've seen one Bahamut crit on Seymour Natus, who would have died anyway, so that crit was completely worthless. We haven't seen any other Bahamut crit yet. So, Bahamut, I know you're getting paid, and you're our best paid worker. So please, Bahamut, do something for your money. Don't be that guy who literally just does the bare minimum as his job. I'm not asking you to be exceptional every single time, but please, like, give me a little bit. Need 2 attacks on each of those fights to kill, except if I get a crit. Which, of course, I didn't. Imagine actually getting useful crits with Bahamut. There's a reason I usually, when I do charity marathons, I usually run an incentive for myself on the wild that I count all the crits that absolutely were worthless to me, and I'm donating 50 cents for every one of those that I got across the entire run. Sadly, we haven't established a charity for this event yet, otherwise I absolutely would have thrown that in as well. But there's always next time. Which means if I get to run Final Fantasy X next time again. Which I probably won't even submit, to be fair. Second sight! Beep. Not a crit. Not a crit. In core, I didn't mess up my experience gain on Unaleska this time again, so we can ignore the guy in the front and just immediately use Impulse since it's a ranged attack on the actual boss in the back. The guy in the front literally doesn't matter. Could drop another zombie strike weapon, which would be nice. Could drop a couple more return spheres, which could technically save us a bit of time, but he has such a slow death animation that he loses like 22 seconds if you actually have to kill him. And these days, it's really not needed anymore. I'm really not making me happy today, honestly. I think that there's nothing left, actually. Oh, definitely, it should have to have one ability on it. If it's a weapon drop on Unaleska, from what I've heard at least, from the facts that I've heard, it's always 100% guaranteed to have Zombie Strike on it. So it is most likely going to be a 3 or 4 slot weapon with Zombie Strike. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. With the name Baroque Sword usually being used for weapons with barely any haven't been any on it. It does raise that question in my mind as well, which is why I will go into the menu and double check that it is before starting the Nebraska's final Aeon. Because I don't want to end up sitting in front of you, Yevon, and having to fight him normally, because we literally can't. Am I winning the game? Yes. Am I winning in the sense of being successful at the game? No. Hey, Zev. 73, that's a high roll, that's good. We need another 67,000 in order to kill, which should be possible, shouldn't be too hard of a damage roll to get. We already got a high roll, we just need a medium roll now. Or a worthless crit. I mean, technically, since there was a damage roll, I think at this point, where he would have survived, that actually wasn't a worthless crit.
Yeah.
We must...
Then we...
Good luck.
Follow.
And with that, welcome to the final area. We're 2 bosses away from the end. Well, 2 bosses and some non-bosses.
I'll be right back.
At least today my game didn't crash upon entering here.
Out of my way!
I'll be right back.
Alright then, 2 more bosses and both of them are technically hard and can go extremely wrong.
Live and let live.
The first one more so than the second one, RNG based. The second one technically can only go wrong if I've messed up one of my menus, which I'm pretty sure I haven't, so it should be consistent.
I'll be right back.
As for Seymour right now, there is a issue that can arise. So, since we've only ever really gotten
so easy on you next
since we've never really gotten the accuracy notes on the license board, wrong game. That's coming in a couple minutes. Since we never gotten any accuracy really on the sphere grid, unfortunately, there is a 3% chance for Tidus to miss his armor break on Seymour Omnis. If that happens, that is very unfortunate.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
And once again, I've personally never had it happen to me before, but, you know, best time for it in a marathon, am I right? There is a backup for it. I'm not 100% sure how consistent it is, because I've never done it before.
I'll be right back.
So we'll see how terrible that is going to get. If it happens. But yeah, if we actually do land the attack, if we do land the armor break, actually, if I remember correctly, there was like a 3% chance that I just miss the attack.
I'll be right back.
And then there's like a 1 in 256 that the effect just doesn't apply. Or 1 in 255, if I remember correctly. I'm bad with numbers.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
If the attack miss happens, then that's okay, because I know that it missed and I can't do anything wrong. If the effect actually misses, which, you know, is a lot rarer, that would mean I wouldn't know until the moment I summon Bahamut, and at that moment it already would be too late. But yeah, I don't want to, you know, jinx myself here for the bad RNG or anything, so let's just get the party in. We do need Oren and Yuna. And then we get to jump to fight with Seymour. Another one of my favorite soundtracks in the game. Defend. Armor break. Yay, we can defend. Summon Bahamut. And unless we got the 1 in 255, Bahamut will kill. even gets a worthless crit on top of things. Muhammad really on with those freaking worthless crits. 3 crits this entire run, not one of them has actually been useful. He really is not being a good worker. He's really not doing the best that he could for the money we're paying him. And yes, I've mentioned that before a while by now. That is not a joke. The Aeons are paid workers that have done great work for us, so we will be paying them at the end of the run.
I'll be right back.
For a lack of a better way to deal with them. Alright, also, on another note, how is my... How's my encounter count looking? I was about to say 224. I mean, then again, I had to run circles in the desert to fight extra encounters just to get my throwables, to be fair.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
So it kind of makes sense that my encounter rate is far above average. Usually I end the run... Or usually I end this zone. That's when I usually stop looking. I'm not counting the final fights. I'm not counting the fights if I get into fights in the final minigame. Usually I'm ending the run somewhere between 220 to 225 encounters. It's usually the average. But right now on encounter 227.
Live and let live.
Every encounter that we flee from usually taking like 10 seconds. Adding up a lot of time, to be fair.
Live and let live.
More like 5 seconds than 10 seconds, but still. Alright, 228 encounters. That's really not that great. Alright, time for the dance session. Except it's not a dance session anymore because I'm not able to play Fight with Seymour on Spotify right now. But it's time for the dance session. To do a technique called as stutter stepping, which is where I continuously make Titus switch between walking and walking and running in order to, you know, move a little bit slower to be able to react if there is like suddenly an icicle appearing right in front of my face as I'm walking backwards. If I touch one of these icicles, that will start an encounter. Preferably, we do not touch a single one of those. And that's why we are stutter stepping. We are going to need 10 of these crystals. Whoopsie. If I would have walked normally, I would have ran into that icicle there. Thanks to stutter stepping, I saw it in time and was able to dodge. Why do you keep spawning at the other side of the arena? Why the frick is there literally nothing on the... Excuse me? Where the frick were the crystals? More. And we are done. Alrighty then! Final menu! No, it's always the exact same. Yeah, it's always the exact same guaranteed 10 items that are supposed to help you with the final bosses. Since we are already past the point of no return. Alright, equipment, Titus. Is the Baroque sword... I got a piercing and a zombie strike Baroque sword. Alright, cool. Okay, it is actually that. So we do not need to walk with Titus basically all the way up here to get zombie strike, which is nice. Yuna, however, does need to do some more. We need to move 2 down, get the agility here. 5 to the left. Get the agility there. Careful not to activate the accuracy that I'm on now accidentally. And then we move over to the ability Spare Change. And lastly, we use the Attribute Spear to get that extra 4 agility from Kamari over here. Riku has Overdrive. Does he have Overdrive? Double check. Play it safe. Okay, good. Riku has Overdrive. Menu's done. I got a Zombie Strike weapon. Alright. Otherworld! Alright, this fight is very simple. We defend with Yuna. We don't defend with Yuna. I already messed up. Fantastic. I love it. It's fine. Those are interchangeable. I hope. Talk to that so he doesn't attack on the next move. Orange switch to Riku, mixing Grenade and HP Sphere. Grenade and HP Sphere. Hope I didn't mess up my turn order here, honestly. Because if I did, this could go really bad. Just get a Jack Bomber. Just get a Jack Bomber. Just hope for a Jack Bomber and everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. I totally didn't mess up. Just get a Jack Bomber and everything will be fine. So, this fight is now gonna go the following. I'm gonna attack, which is gonna kill phase 1. Which triggers phase 2. He's now gonna pull a sword out of his chest, which honestly is pretty metal if you think about it. Yeah, with this, he gets another health bar, etc., etc., gets new moveset, and he can do one of two things with his next attack. He can do a sword swing, which can be followed up by attacks, by healing actions from the two things on the back on him, and followed by another sword swing before I'm then able to attack again, which we really don't want to see. Or he can use Eject Beam, which sadly he doesn't right now, which could be bad. Eject Beam slows him down enough that basically all the animations that are happening now wouldn't happen, and instead it'd be my turn immediately, since it would have since using the Eject Beam would have slowed him down. Which is the optimal thing that we love to see. Unfortunately, didn't see here. So we get the second sword fight, but I'm actually not sure we can survive, actually. Yeah. Fun times. That one is on me. Well, more time for the next runners to prepare, and a little bit of catch-up time for us for the time we got ahead after Lon's great run. Good thing we adjusted the estimate. Exactly. So yeah, that was on me because I accidentally defended with Yuna in the start instead of switching her for Riku. Which slowed her down just enough that we were able to get 2 attacks hit from. Otherwise, we would have been able to get the attack in before the second attack from Jacked. Ability Sphere for spare change, Attribute Sphere for the speed. Once again, Riku is full overdrive. I have a Zombie Strike weapon, moving in. Good news! We get to enjoy Otherworld some more. Alright, do the fight correctly this time, please. Yuna for Riku. Riku, mix the Grenade HP Sphere. HP Sphere Grenade. For Chaos Grenade. The reason why his second hit also hits so much harder is this Chaos Grenade right now.
I won't lose!
And this time for real. The reason we use this Chaos Grenade specifically is because it gives him both Armor Break and Power Break, which is why the first attack was so much weaker. After the second one. When the Yupagoras heal him, they also remove all the status effects on him, which is why suddenly the second one was hit a lot harder. But yeah, in before, since I've actually done everything correctly and how I'm supposed to do it, yeah, that means we are actually getting everything correctly here now. Yay. And that means we're probably gonna get the Jack Beam here, which would have saved us last time and now just quote-unquote saves us some time. Boop. Jack Beam, Jack Beam, Jack Beam. Of course he gets me the Jack Beam this time. So as I said, he doesn't get healed, he doesn't get anything else in. We literally just get the turn earlier thanks to him using the Jack Beam, which would have saved us last attempt after I've messed up. It would have saved us here to do this. And at this point, I'd just like to say 5-minute warning for the end of the run. The run, we are in the final fights, the run will be over in 5 minutes. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is payday! So, first of all, it's an explanation why we do this. We now have to fight each of our espers, so you, Yevon, can't take control of anything anymore, before we're then able to fight you, Yevon, the evil bad guy of the game. However, the thing with most of the espers is, they have an extremely high evasion, which means we're basically unable to hit him with normal attacks. But luckily, we got the ability here called Spare Change, so we're just gonna throw money at our problems, which I like to refer to as paying. So Valfor, you did a good job this run. You did everything we want you. Here's 20,000 gil, don't spend it all at once. Have a nice day. Take your paycheck and leave. Since we didn't have to spend that much money for the second half of the game, we just have all the money in the world that we can just throw at them. Luckily enough, just enough to kill everything consistently. Next up is Ifrit. Oh my god, hey Ifrit, we haven't seen you all day. You've been on call the entire run. We didn't need you, but you've been on call. And obviously, for being on call, you deserve some compensation. So, yeah, you also have more hours than Valfor due to being on call. So, here's 30,000. Take your money. Don't spend it all at once. And have a nice day. Another small explanation, by the way. You might have seen the small halos above Yuna's head right there now. Or above everyone's heads. That is a status buff called Guardian Angel? Arise? I can never remember how it's actually called in English. That status effect simply just makes it so that whenever a character dies, they immediately will be revived. All alive, thank you. The German version would translate to Guardian Angel, which is why I'm always getting a little bit confused too. Ixion, you did your bare minimum. You did your 6 attacks that we expect you to do over the run. We're very happy about that. Didn't crit any of them, sadly. Very disappointed in that. You should work on your attitude. But here's your pay for the run. Thank you. And yeah, thanks to that status effect, every time we die, we immediately get automatically revived now. Which means we literally can't lose from this point onwards, but as I said, we literally don't have a way to deal with the espers, as well as a way to deal with the final boss. So technically we are an infinite stalemate here. If I were to, for example, run out of Phoenix Downs, or don't have any way to inflict zombie on the boss in general, we'd be in an infinite stalemate. They wouldn't be able to kill me, I wouldn't be able to kill them. Shiva! Also been on call as a replacement in case Ixion fails, but Ixion never fails, but you've been on call, so obviously you deserve payment as well, so here's your 30,000. Thanks for your standing by, and have a good day. I mean, they do get extra money for on-call. Valfor only got 20,000, even though she's been rocking most of the early game. Alright, last but not least, Bahamut. Performance review. 3 crits over the entire run, all of them useless. Haven't really done a good job being you, honestly. Bare minimum requirements for your payment. We don't like that in this company, Bahamut. Please, next run, do a little bit better, right? But as always, you did your job, you did what you were expected to do, so here's literally everything the company owes. Don't spend it all at once. Have a good day. And with that, we are closing in on time. The final boss is here. Say hello to you, Yevon, who, as we've mentioned earlier, is not immune to zombies, so we are going to equip that zombie strike weapon with Titus. Gonna attack him to inflict zombie. And then, as I said earlier as well, he is also not immune to death, so we are just gonna throw a Phoenix down, which will kill him. And... time. 3:31 loadless, 7.5 minutes behind PB. Lost 4 minutes here on Omnis right now. Makes sense, that was terrible. Lost a bunch of time on Beacon Elf for having to grind monsters. Drops and steals and enemies have really not been kind to me today, to be fair. But for what it's worth, I've had worse runs. I am happy with what I've achieved here today. I do think I did quite a good showcase, and honestly, while I would have, deep in my heart, I would have been happy to get another PB right now, because the PB that I got 2 days ago was dog shit, and I easily should have been able to save 3 minutes on it with a little bit of RNG on my side. I feel like it was still a good showcase, and, you know, when not everything goes perfect, it's always a good showcase of what can go wrong. Because obviously, you see perfect runs often enough on marathons. You see runs where everything goes well often enough. So seeing a little bit of the bad sides, having a little bit of here and there, always is a nice thing. And, I mean, we adjusted the estimate for more bad things to happen. We would have been 2 minutes over the original estimate with this, and we're still ahead in all, so... I'm happy all in all. I'm happy all in all. With that, I'm gonna say my goodbyes for the next 10 minutes. I'll be leaving the screen and coming back as the voice from the off for Madelon's awesome Final Fantasy XII run, which I'll be co-commentating. And, yeah. I'll be hearing you in a bit, so I don't want to drag this one out.